It's preparing the upload.
Yeah, I just got a notification in the corner that says live on YouTube. That's a new one for me.
Oh, nice. Yeah, me too.
I didn't even know Zoom would allow that. I'll have to tell some of my professors.
It's a paid subscription to the Zoom. It's not the free one. You have to have like Zoom Premium or something in order to be able to go live on Facebook or YouTube.
Didn't even know there was a Zoom premium. What about that?
Yeah, before I started the podcast, I double checked because the free one you can do Zoom meetings up to like a half hour recording, and then you can only record so many. But with the pay subscription version, you can get unlimited hours and unlimited storage space for recording and have so many more options. This is taking forever. I think it's working. I'm going to check my phone. Sure. I don't know. Let's go here. Let's go back to the camera. Let's go here. Let's go here. Let's go here. I don't know if I'm going live or not. What? Okay, there we go. Yep, I see it. Well, let's get this started. Hey, everybody out there in YouTube land. This is Sam Denehy, aka Half-Ass Customs. Oh, that's crazy. I'm hearing my voice. This is stupid. I was going to say this is Half-Ass Customs. This is Half-Ass Presents the Podcast, the live stream. This is the live stream to kick off the new season 2 of the podcast. And I'm overhearing myself going back and forth with this YouTube and this live stream. I've got to shut down one of these audio things.
Shut it down and yeah, put it on mute.
What's up, Theodore?
What's going on, man?
Where is it? Let me mute this. Where is this at? I'm trying to mute the live stream on my computer. I don't even know where my live stream went. What the heck is happening? Oh. You have to forgive me. My computer's old as crap. And so everything on here is super slow. Like ridiculously slow. Okay, you know what I think would happen? I'm just gonna delete. I'm gonna X out of this. I'm gonna X out of that. And we'll go back. All right, who cares? I don't know what's happening. It looks like the YouTube browser I was on froze. What's up, Theodore?
Hey, what's going on?
Can you hear me? Oh, you're muted. There you go.
Yeah, I muted it for a minute.
Oh, that's cool. It's all good. It's all good. No worries. Thanks for joining. I hope more join, but if not, it'll be us four. That's cool too. But yeah, anyways, I was trying to get through the intro of this live stream, but my YouTube channel was popping in my ear. So I was listening to myself talk like a minute delay, and that was distracted as all get out. So this is the live stream to kick off the new season 2 of Half-Ass Presents the Podcast. New videos starting the 1st of February. I've already got 5 interviews. Unfortunately, I'm only uploading once a week of those interviews. So you'll have to wait for the rest of those to be uploaded when they come in. But also, I think in YouTube, there's a chat, maybe. I don't know. I think maybe there's a chat in YouTube. I gotta reopen YouTube. Let me refresh this. There's a chat in YouTube, and in my new episodes. I've sort of tried to edit them, kind of. It's not really an edit. It's more of just me pausing the video. I'm doing intros before and outros at the end. And you're going to hear myself repeat myself a lot because I'm promoting a Patreon account. If you guys even heard of that, a lot of YouTubers are talking about that. Um, like big time YouTubers that need money. They're asking for people to, you know, help grow their channel or something. That's what I'm doing. I don't know if there's a live chat in this or not. I don't know how this works. Anyways, I'm gonna put in the description of this video when this goes up on, there it is. There's the chat. I'm gonna put in the Patreon account. What that does is it's gonna allow any fans or anybody that wants to help this YouTube channel grow. Kid, I'm hearing myself. Oh my gosh. Let me turn this off. Okay. It's going to help grow the channel. So basically, you donate as little as you want or as much as you want, and it's going to help me buy a camera, maybe a better computer, buy a mic so I don't have to wear this earphone in my ear the whole time I'm doing these. And it's going to just help try to grow the channel to make these podcasts better. I'm trying to do it for you guys. I don't really need it for myself. I can deal with what this is, but I feel like if people really want to watch this and listen at the same time, they probably might want a little bit better quality of stuff, more editing processes. I don't know. So I'll have in the chat room that's here a link to this Patreon account as soon as I can figure out where I put it. And yeah, I don't know where it is. I'm gonna have to go on my phone and do it. Oh, Joseph is trying to get in. But yeah, so everybody that's going to be watching this either tomorrow or tonight, I'm going to put the Patreon link in the chat room. So if anybody wants to help me make this channel better, I greatly appreciate it. But anyways, Joseph's audio is connecting. So looks like we might have a pretty good show or podcast or live stream, what have you. I gotta get this Patreon. What's up, Joseph?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going, man. You missed my little monologue, but that's cool.
Sorry.
Don't ever let it happen again, all right? No, I was basically just introducing the live stream to everybody that's either watching or gonna watch tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
So how was Hawaii?
Very nice.
Bet it was. It looked nice. So if you're not familiar with everybody, we got Tyler Kimmel. He's been a longtime customer of mine and a pretty cool model railroader. He's been a customer of mine because he wants to have one of the coolest model railroading layouts ever. Because how better of a railroad can you have without custom cars on it and whatnot?
Right?
What's up, little man?
He just wanted to say what, you know. He see everything that's going on. He just wanted to say hello.
Hi.
That's cool. Hey, man. I see you drumming
You drumming?
Yep.
all the time. You can be a rock star pretty soon,
Yep.
Said they saw your car
just
today.
like his daddy.
He said they saw your car today. That was your Lamborghini behind my bus.
Uh-oh, that was nice.
They see it? Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's your car.
Can't go wrong with that. Where's your car, Theodore?
I ain't got a car yet. I'm just all buses.
Gotta get yourself a car next. Then you can have your car tow his car, or his car tow your car.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you. I got a couple of those. What is happening? I don't know what is going on. I'm so lost with this technology. I feel just old and decrepit. I really do. Because I'm trying to find the link. I think I got it up. Please verify. All right. I'm going to copy this and then I'm going to put it in the description of this live podcast. Not the description, the chat. I really do. And now I got to turn this volume down. Cool. I don't know if anybody else can see that, but there's I guess if anybody wants to ask a question during this live podcast, if anybody's watching this besides the people that are in it, then you can ask the question and I'll see it on my phone and I'll answer it, or anybody else can answer it if you have a question for them. But let me get back to Tyler. Tyler has bought a lot of cars from me, a lot of custom hot rods and customs and whatnot. And he's doing that because he wants to have one of the coolest layouts ever. And you can't have a really cool layout without custom cars, or else your layout just look like everybody else's layout with just every other car that everybody else has. So that's what's up with Tyler. And then Jay, how you say your name, Jay? Jay Cobb?
Jacob. It's a little
Jacob.
weird. My parents wanted it to be a little unique, but it's just Jacob, like every other one on the street. I
They
guess.
succeeded. Jacob. Jacob's going to a college with an actual train museum in it. How amazing is that?
That's
amazing.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. And that's what got him back in the hobby. So how about that? But yeah, anyways, thanks for joining, everybody. I hope if
Thank
anybody's, I show two people viewing this live. Maybe it's me and my laptop. I don't know. maybe it's my phone and my laptop. I don't really know. But anybody subscribe to the YouTube channel will be able to see that that notification and watch it. They can join later. They can join now. It doesn't matter. But yeah, this is to kick off the live or the next season of the podcast. And you're all welcome to come back too. Like if you want to talk, Joseph, you want to talk, Theodore, we can get you back on the podcast as well for round 2. I haven't done any round 2s yet, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to. Because let me tell you, the scarcity, I can't even say it. I'm not going to say it. The few people that actually accept the invite to be on the podcast is a lot fewer than the people that I've sent it out to. Was that right? The people that accepted are fewer than the people that I sent out. Yeah. So I might be asking for round 2 for interviews to help, keep this thing going. Anyways, what are you building, Joseph?
Building a U-Haul storage.
Oh,
Wow.
dang. I'll tell you what, if you guys don't really know Joseph, I'm gonna just say it. I've said it on a couple podcasts. I've said to other builders, I consider them master modelers. And I don't say that all the time, but Joseph is a master modeler. He takes nothing and makes something out of it. I take something that's already been built and transform it. He takes nothing and makes something. That's crazy. And he does such a good job too. So my book of master modelers are super small, but yeah, he's a master modeler. And guess what? Theodore is the master bus guy.
Well, I'm like you. I can't make nothing from something from nothing. So I just take something that's already out there and just make it my own. That's all.
Well, with the amount of buses you got, you the master. Like I was talking to on this next season, I was talking to what is his name? Josh? I'm sorry if I don't remember your name. Everybody knows my memory is just crap. The ambulance guy, the guy that posts ambulances. I talked to him, and he's the master ambulance guy. There's nobody else out there that I know of that, has the quantity, quality, and the speed that he has. Just like you, Theodore. You the master bus guy. He's the master ambulance guy.
Well,
Joseph's becoming the master diorama guy.
well, you know me, I'm humble, so I'll say I'm the master in the 87 group. But if you go to some of the other bus pages, man, there's some guys that make me look real bad.
Look, I've said it.
I'm gonna try to get them on your podcast one day. I'll give you some names.
That'd be man, yeah. Just drop them in the messenger. I'll message them, and then we'll see what happens. But I've said it in a couple other podcasts. If anybody watched them all or didn't watch them all, I've said I've talked to people last season that I didn't think I was gonna care really what they were saying because it wasn't my thing, or understand what they were saying. But everybody I talked to was so interesting and so enthused and knowledgeable about what they like to build that I wasn't bored ever in any of the interviews, which is really neat because I mean you're a bus guy, Theodore. I don't care about buses. They don't do nothing for me. But I mean, listening to you talk about them and your enthusiasm, I mean, it got me into wanting to make myself a custom coach. I don't know that I'm ever going to do that, but I want to do that.
Trust me, I was thinking about looking through my stash and see if I can send you one and see what you can make up, a hot rod bus or something.
Yeah, I do it. I do it real good.
I think that would be cool. Even the guys that's super serious about buses, I think they would appreciate that if you did it.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool. I was talking to that ambulance guy, and I was saying we should do like a hot rod. I'd do a hot rod ambulance or a custom ambulance. No, he would do a hot rod custom ambulance, and I'd build a stock ambulance. I don't know that I really want to build a stock ambulance, to be honest with you, but if we're going to do that kind of thing, then you never know. Have a little build off between me and him. That'd be cool.
Hey, Sam, do you know our buddy, Newey?
Newey?
Yeah, Huey?
Huey?
Yeah.
Like Huey Lewis in the news?
No, on Facebook. He needs to build vehicles for me.
That'd be cool. I don't know.
But he built there's a bus for me a couple of years ago.
Oh, maybe? I don't know.
He made a white wall bus with a 24 valve Cummins in it.
Oh wow. I mean, how many things get posted a day on our Facebook groups, and then how many things are so old and they just got posted 2 weeks ago, I can't remember everything. I probably remember him if I seen the oh yeah. What'd you say his name was? Is it Lou?
Yeah, you.
Oh, okay. My bad. I just didn't understand what you were saying. Yeah, Lou.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, he needs to join in because he just commented on a Facebook picture that I commented on something he posted. So I know he's online. Yeah, I know Lou very well.
Yeah, he built a lot of customs for me.
That's awesome. That's good. That's what this hobby is really about, is not just building for other people, but helping other people.
Uh-huh.
You know, if we're all in it together, and there's not a whole ton of us like in the 125th scale world or the 164 scale world, especially for our little group of people that are in this all over the world. There's as many as there are, there's still not that many. So it's really neat when we can just all help each other with whatever we need and however we want to, help
Mm-hmm.
them out with. But yeah, that's cool. That's cool, man. I'm glad that he was able to help you. Uh-oh, that looks
Remember
very
all?
familiar.
Yeah,
I swear I've seen that somewhere.
you had it.
Yeah, there's another one. So we got another guy coming in. This is actually my dad.
Oh no.
Yeah, he's if any of you watching this tomorrow or tonight have gone to the RPM meets in St. Louis, my dad's usually there with me and my mom right there.
Yeah, that's his mom.
They've come out with me to the St. Louis meets. And they help out a lot. It's nice. It's nice to be out there with somebody else instead of by yourself and alone.
So, did you build anything new lately, son?
Not in the scale that this live stream's for.
Oh, okay.
This live stream is for the small cars, and I've been building bigger ones. But yeah, it's cool though. It's this hobby's neat, and I think out of all the hobbies, out of the 164 scale or the 125th scale, this scale seems to be a lot more friendlier, and everybody's trying to help each other as much as possible. I mean, with links to websites or parts or whatever, it's really nice. And I like this scale more than all the other scales. Plus, we have such a small, tight-knit group of people that we can really just be a family with. Even the HO scale train world, there's hundreds of thousands of people in that hobby all around the world. And they're not nearly as close and nice as, the vehicle side of that hobby as we are. So Jacob, you got back into the hobby. You build trucks, or you just collect the trucks?
A little bit of both. I'm new enough to the hobby that I haven't really learned how to do the really heavy customization, your frame splices, your cab swaps, all that stuff. But basically, there's a few different touches that I've learned how to do. So I like to take stock models, put a few twists on them, and go that route. But I'm picking up tricks here and there.
That's cool. You know what I did not do? I cannot believe I did not do that. Record a computer. I didn't record this from the beginning. I'm recording it now.
Good one, son.
So because I didn't record it from the beginning, hey everybody, I'm going to repeat this intro once again. This is Sam Denehy, aka Half-Ass Customs, and this is Half-Ass Presents the live stream to kick off the second season of the podcast. There you go. Now we can get back to what we were saying.
Forgot to start recording.
But yeah, so you do a little bit of customizing and obviously collecting, because you got to collect the parts in the trucks to make what you want to make. So that's cool.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that. But like you said, I jumped back into the hobby, found a college that actually has a model train layout on campus as part of a small museum. And I asked the museum director, I said, hey, I'm sort of into the vehicle side of things. Would you mind if I built some trucks or whatnot if you would let me display them on your layout? So that's sort of how I got back into the truck side of things specifically.
That's cool. I mean, so you're in, is the museum like a society? Is it a club? Or is it literally like a business that's just a museum with like people that work in the museum?
That's a good question. Sort of a combination. There's 3 different entities on campus. There's the actual museum, there's a model railroad club, and there's a historical society. So basically, the model railroad club that I'm a part of, we staff the museum, and the layout's actually modular. So they give us real estate to park our modules in, and we keep them open on Saturdays so the public can come in and tour it. And the reason that there is a museum is we're located on grounds that were given to us by the Clinchfield Railroad, and they stipulated that there had to be some connection to the railroad on the college campus. So that is how we got involved in that. And if the next person is talking, I'll put a link to our Facebook page in the chat if anybody wants to check that out.
I like to check that out. So that'll
Yeah,
help a
me
lot.
too.
That's cool. That's really cool. And for anybody, since just started the recording, that was my mistake. In the chat room that anybody watching this should be able to see, there is a Patreon account. That Patreon account is there strictly and only to help this channel grow. If you donate a little or donate a lot or don't donate at all, then it's not going to go nowhere if you don't donate. But if you do donate, that'll help me buy the equipment I need to make this bigger and better. Enough said. I'm not trying to plug that no more. I've only plugged that like 3 or 4 times now. But yeah, it's in the chat, so check it out. But that's cool, man. That's cool. I've never really been into college, as my dad could tell you. Like, as soon as I was done with high school, I was done. I don't even want to learn anything new at my work. Like, screw it. I don't care. But if I did care, that'd be the college I want to go to. In fact, that'd be the only class I want to take, is working or helping or being in that club with that train museum.
All right, I appreciate that. It was definitely, it wasn't anything that I planned. I had no idea that it even existed. I picked the school based on my interest, how far away from home it was. And my dad, he's a huge railroad nut. And he said, when were you going to tell me that there was a train museum on campus? And I said, oh, it's news to me. And he came up one Saturday to watch a football game, and we went down there while they were open. And by the time we left, they had already given us membership cards, so we were part of the family before we ever left. So it was
that's awesome.
Good opportunity. Sure.
Yeah, that's really cool. And what state is that?
Tennessee. I'm in East Tennessee, so I'm doing classes from home and stuff. So I'm about halfway between Chattanooga and Knoxville, but the Railroad Museum is actually up in the far northeast corner of Tennessee. So around Bristol, if you know where the Speedway is and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So that is where we are located.
That's cool, man. I mean, I'm in North Carolina, so I'm not that far from you, really. Maybe one of these days traveling through Tennessee, we'll have to like stop in or something.
Absolutely, yeah. Send me a message sometime.
Yeah. Honestly, probably the next time we go to St. Louis, we'll be going through Tennessee, but I don't know that we'll be going through that far down in Tennessee. I think we're going more off of 40 until we hit Nashville. But I mean, you never know. We see what happens. Might be a good weekend just to check that train club museum out anyways.
Absolutely.
It was really neat
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, it was really neat that they let you put your trucks on the layout. I mean, just asking about it before you were really a member or whatever.
Right. Yeah, that was a unique opportunity for me because a lot of the members, they're not really into the scenery aspect of it. They like to come in on Saturdays and run their trains and stuff and show off, which is fine. but that was a good way for me to fill a niche in the club, and I got a kick out of it. I will say, anybody that wants to visit, we're currently under a reservation system due to COVID, so just check into that. I don't want anybody to just show up and not be able to take a tour.
Good point. And thanks for telling everybody that, because, you know, this COVID time is making everybody kind of weirded out and not sure about anything. So even a little bit of information is better than no information.
Mhm.
That's cool. That's really cool. Thanks for sharing that. Thanks for coming in on this and, you know, saying hi and telling us a little bit about your story. And I'll be looking forward to, you know, doing a one-on-one interview for another episode of the podcast. So that'd be nice. What are you up to, Tyler?
Well, not much. Been working, but I've been working on my layout. Let me flip my camera around. Been working on this old gas station, service station. Did some custom color, hot water. Been working on that for a couple of weeks, couple of months. Got some details in there. We got our boneyard parts in back. But yeah, they're getting there.
That's cool, man. That's neat. It's always good to have something to like lay your custom stuff out on.
Yeah.
I mean, you see the background here, I got 2 modules right here. And I don't lay anything on there really because it'll get dusty.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is. I don't know. Like you see those guys. Well, I don't know if you've seen them. Joseph's seen it when he went to St. Louis. But some of these guys with these huge train layouts in their basements. Speaking of a guy named Vic something, he's got this amazing city train layout. Lakeside or Lakeview or Lake or Creekside, something City Edge or something like that.
Yeah.
He said he hadn't dusted his layout in a year. And when he went to go dust it, he said there was hardly anything he had to clean up. And I'm thinking in my head, that's impossible. How do you have a basement and there's like no dust? But my room up here, it gets dusty in a day. It's ridiculously dusty. So I couldn't imagine. I got to get a air filtration system like he has.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always clean, always. So.
But you have to. I mean, if you got something that, you know, that nice and that detailed, you do want to definitely leave it clean because these buildings back here got at least a millimeter of dust all over them. And you can see it. It's gross.
Well, do something about it, son.
Well, I'm going to clean it when I have to move that to the next show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, no, I'll have it clean for the next show, but I don't, if it's not going anywhere, it's just sitting right here. What's the point in cleaning it? I don't lay out anything on there. I mean, I have my 3 Ghostbusters cars collecting dust back there, but I probably should put those in a display case so they don't collect dust. I can build more. That's cool. That's cool, Tyler. I appreciate you coming on and showing us that too. That's great.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
And I look forward to our interview as well. Whenever that happens. So what about you, Joseph? You built that that U-Haul that you showed us before I started recording. My mistake.
No, just up to the same old buildings. Slowly working on cars. I did complete some more of it. The I finally got windows and interior in this one. Painted up. I need some tail lights and wheels.
What is that, like a Honda Civic?
Yeah, Honda Accord.
See that? I could barely see that thing because I'm so far away from my computer screen, but I could tell what that was. Uh-oh. That's what that is. Dude, that was a good eye, Tyler.
Let me flip it around and show you. Here's two of them.
Yep, those are good.
I got the other couple over here.
Those are good too.
All the same. Here's the U-Haul deal.
Oh, that seems like that must be a mountain-esque town because there's hardly anybody that needs to store anything in that. That's why it's so small, right?
Right. And here's a custom U-Haul truck. The cab I just built, or the box truck part of it.
So that's scratch built in?
Well, it's 3D. Yeah.
Was that McDonald's next to it?
It is.
That's cool.
Yeah, he's going to bring that up for the next St. Louis meet that we have if it happens this year. I don't think it's going to happen this year, but if it does, and it's safe to go.
I got more in progress. Wendy's, Dunkin' Donuts, some houses that are in process. Here's a Arby's that is finished. Some houses, some modern houses. Cracker Barrel.
Oh, you can get rid of that
every
one.
Town.
And then I just finished this bank up today.
Is that the bank you bank with? Is that why you built that one?
No.
Oh, okay.
Then I got some other stuff being printed now. More houses.
Look at you, man.
He is high tech.
Yeah. So all this stuff is 3D printed and all designed by myself. There we go.
That's awesome, dude. You're like my hero. I've said it on a lot of podcasts that since I can't be you, you're like the guy tech wise. I wish I had your skills and your knowledge. And I know you say, well, I just have to learn it too, but my brain stops at I have to learn it. Yours keeps going.
Well, I wanted all this stuff because it's not out there, so I have to make it.
Yeah, so do I. But
Yeah,
I still can't make it.
You're thinking that.
I have to know people that know how to make it for me.
Right.
That's cool. That's really cool. We were talking earlier yesterday about some potential new wheels coming down the line. So look out for those to get posted because most of you won't care what those wheels are, but for the few that do, they're gonna look awesome. I think they'll look awesome. They should look awesome. So that's cool.
Yeah. Nothing else. Same old with me.
That's good though, man. That's good. We know what you're building. We see what you're doing, and there's more to come, obviously. So that's good too.
Yep. I got plans to make a garage workshop type deal. I can remove the roof, but I need to sit down and design it.
Well, I'm sure you won't have an issue with that.
Yeah. It takes time.
It does. Everything takes time.
Yeah.
You just got to have the time to be able to think it and build it. That's the biggest problem. And not get burnt out of the scale that you were in for years and move on to other scales to block you from the scale that you need to get back to.
Right. Well, you'll have some work soon.
Good. I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, I got two, they call them glass houses. So they're like 1971 and 1976 full-size Chevy Impalas or Caprices, which is the same body style. They call them glass houses in the donk lowrider world. And I got two bodies. I don't think I should have said that because that's one of the cars I'm working on for you. I got two bodies left, and they're both going to be lowriders. So I do have two cars I could work on, but I don't want to work on them until I got everything I want for them. And I'm waiting on those white walls for those tires.
Oh, okay.
So until I have those and I can see the direction I want to go with, they're just sitting collecting dust until I get everything I need.
Right.
Same. Has anybody made a sedan delivery yet?
A sedan delivery of what?
A Chevy. Like my dad has a 57 Chevy sedan delivery. So it's basically a Nomad, but instead of rear windows, it's a panel truck.
Right.
This was actually a Planter's peanut truck at one time. They're actually pretty rare for what they are, but I wasn't sure if anybody had custom made one yet, or if there was a 3D print kit out or what.
There's a 3D version of almost every Chevy truck ever made, designed by Mad About Cars. His name is Jan in Germany. He's got that panel. It's off of Shapeway. So you go to Shapeway, look up Mad About Cars, and he's got that panel. Now you'll just go to his actual page and then go through every one of his actual pages to find it, because I don't know that you can actually look it up through Shapeway just by typing in that name and scale. But he's got it. He's got every version of that Chevy truck in that year. He's amazing. He's my
awesome. I have to
idol.
look into that.
Yeah. I should probably put a link to his thing in the chat too. I've got links to like everything because I don't remember what it is that I was looking at a couple days ago. So I keep the Facebook page up so I don't forget which Facebook page, or not the Facebook page, but the internet site up so I don't forget which internet site I was on.
Amazing those things don't fall over.
It
so
is.
tough, right?
Let's see.
Hey, Sam.
Yes.
And everybody else, we're going to go. It was nice meeting y'all.
All right, fine. Be that way. Go.
I'm shutting up. Don't make me have your mom come over there and beat you.
Mm-hmm.
You know she will.
Well, thanks for popping in. Thanks for
Hey,
saying
no problem.
hi.
It's cool. I like seeing those modules. Those are pretty cool.
And
Okay.
I don't know how long we're going to do this, but if you wake up in the middle of the night, we're still on. You can join back.
Well, I usually do wake up in the middle of the night.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye.
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 See ya.
Say bye to you.
Bye, Dan.
Bye. So I'm putting in the chat room a link to Mad About Cars' Shapeway website link for anybody that's watching or anybody that's going to see this tomorrow. If you're interested, it's in the chat room. So, yeah, that's cool. What about you, Theodore? Working on anything new? Besides that, besides your son's Lamborghini getting towed? Did it break down? Or are you guys going on vacation?
Nah, well, you know how you see those RVs where they pull in cars and stuff?
Right.
So I got one of the Shapeways, as you see that's from Shapeways, the trailer. So I just put the Lamborghini on top.
Nice.
So I had the RV. A lot of people saw that one already, but and then I got these two from Shapeways, these box trailers. So I wrapped them the same color as the bus to match the bus. So, You know,
That's cool.
because that's how a lot of the entertainer buses do.
Oh yeah, because they got all the equipment back there and they're hauling the, famous people inside.
Oh yeah, they got the cars and the trailers with the equipment so they could do shows. So I tried to do a couple because it seemed like that's what's been more popular since I've been doing it. So
I think it gets more popular. I mean, in my opinion, because it's a little bit different. So if you're used to transport buses, and then you go on to like a musician privately owned RV bus, you see those. It's part of that the like my TV movie group, like if you were
yeah,
to put
yeah,
Aerosmith on the side of a bus like that, they would be like, oh,
yeah,
wait,
yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
even think about that with a bus,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
So you make a trailer, like a musician trailer or whatever, that's cool. It makes it a little bit different and a little bit more stand out-ish. I can't talk either. I can't remember and I can't talk.
Yeah, so if you saw my latest pictures, I just been doing a bunch of entertainer buses. Like I did a brown one, the red one, brown one. I did a black one, just plain black with
You know
the,
what?
you know,
I might have to commission you to make a tour bus for my podcast.
oh, with a wrap with
That'd be sweet.
Right.
I got this one from Shapeways, and I put the little slide outs. I don't know if y'all know the RV where they got the slide outs on it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, pop out. Yeah.
So Shapewave made the pop outs and you just
no,
glue them on, or?
no, I put the pop outs on them. It was just a plain bus on it.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Did you just make that out of styrene, or how'd you make
I
the
actually
pop out?
I actually made that out of wood.
Oh, no kidding. That's awesome,
Yeah,
dude.
I cut a couple pieces of wood and just glued it on the side so they could pop out.
That's
So
awesome. That's different too, because all your previous buses have been flat sides,
yeah,
and that's what every bus out there on the market is, just flat sides, and that's also what everybody that, at least in our scale that I see, if you're going to build a bus, that's what they're building, is just regular buses. So you put that little extra flair on it, that makes that bus
yeah,
look way better. It makes it, you know
definitely.
what? It brings life to the bus. Makes it look like people are inside and
Mhm.
camping out in a luxury RV park.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. These last four that I just showed you, I've actually got offers on them already.
Nice.
So I'm like, I didn't try to. We had this conversation before. I wasn't trying to sell, but
Right.
if they're interested like that,
And
hey,
then,
you never
hey,
know.
if they're gonna pay the right price that you want, that you put out, everything's for sale. You just
That's
gotta
the
pay the
part.
money for it.
That's the problem. People want something for nothing. Cause I got plenty of sheets, as you see. I got the decals made up. So all I have to do is buy the bus and throw them on there. But
Right.
a lot of people, they want something for nothing. So
That's the thing too. Tyler knows my starting price, and a lot of people, they look at that starting price and they're like, oh man, I needed to be lower. It can't be lower. It just can't be. Sorry, deal with it. Pay it, you can't get it.
Hey, I know your work. It worth every penny, every
Yeah,
dollar. So
thank you. Well, I appreciate that. Because I think probably a lot of times I undersell stuff, but because I don't ever really build stuff. Like, unless it's you, I don't really build stuff for people
yeah,
unless I get asked to, and I don't really get asked to a lot. So, like your last conversation with me on the messenger, you're like, "Hey, what do you got for sale?" And I was like, "Good question," because I really didn't build nothing for sale, but let me see what I got. I build it
yep.
for me. I don't build it for everybody else. So just like Theodore, he builds it for himself. He doesn't really build it for anybody, but if somebody wants it, they got to pay for it.
Everything is for sale at
Right.
the right price.
And even the stuff that I don't ever plan on selling, man, if somebody wants it bad enough, oh, they can have it. They're just going to pay for it.
You better let me know first.
You know what? Because I've said it on a couple podcast episodes. I said you're my best customer, so you will be known first.
Well, thank you.
Honestly, you probably be the only one to know, because it ain't gonna really be for sale unless unless I don't even know for less really. Nothing's ever really for sale unless somebody wants it bad enough. But if they don't want it, then it stays on my shelf and sits in these display cases or the one behind me. Doesn't go nowhere. But I was talking to him. I was talking to a guy named London. He's going to be the second interview for this new season, London Drysdale. And he says he builds stuff, a lot of commercial trucking stuff. He builds to sell, and he sells them on eBay. And some of it's hit and miss, but some of that hits big. And you never know. You never know. And I was thinking, I wonder how many people actually look at that stuff and go, "Oh my God, I have to have that," or just, "Oh, that looks cool. That's neat. That's different." Compared to everything else on a table at a meet at a whatever. My stuff stands out far none compared to everybody else's stuff. So it makes me wonder, should I take all that stuff and put it on eBay, or should I just keep it? Because I could possibly make a lot of money. I could possibly lose a shit ton of money.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't suggest it, man.
I know.
No,
I did
I
it
don't
on
like
eBay
eBay
a couple
in particular.
times.
I mean, I buy eBay when I need something and I can't make it myself.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I buy it. In fact, coming soon to photos near you on Facebook, those Funko Pops, stupid toys that are collectors?
I think so.
Yeah, those big heads, and they make all different kind of characters. They're like bobbleheads. I don't think they bobble though, but they're like the new bobblehead thing. Anyways, they make a Back to the Future one with Doc Brown standing next to the clock tower. And obviously Doc Brown's probably like this tall, and the clock tower is the same height. So he's like, 50 feet tall compared to that clock tower. But that clock tower, I bought that for super cheap. And I think that clock tower is super close to 187 scale. So guess what's coming? A new diorama.
Oh.
I want to try to build onto that though. My dream for the last 2.5 years is to build Hill Valley, downtown
That'd be awesome.
Hill Valley in 187 scale. I'm not a good builder. And I mean, I build stuff that, is pre-made, and all you got to do is glue it together and paint it. That's how I build. I don't scratch build nothing. I know half of those buildings in that movie probably have to be scratch built or 3D printed or something. I don't know. And I don't have those skills, but that's my dream. But that's the thing. I don't want to build it from the first movie. I want to build it from the second movie. That futuristic world. That's what I want.
I don't suggest eBay because before I got into 187, I had about 10 buses, and I paid them all up and put them all on eBay. And the first one sold for almost $50, $60, $70. So I was stoked. I said, "Oh man, this is great." The other one sold for about $5.
Oh.
Yeah. No. So it's hit or miss. It's all about timing.
Right. No, and that's exactly the right thing, because that London guy said he puts his bid to win. So he starts it off as $1. And you can put a reserve on it, obviously, but that reserve, if nobody ever hits it, can discourage people from wanting to, keep bidding on it. So that can help you, but that can also scare people away from it. So I don't know, man. I don't know. He's got some pretty good hits on some of his cars, and he's got some misses, and I don't know that I want to risk all that. I put a lot of time and my love into those models because I build them for me. I don't, unless somebody really, really appreciates it, like somebody on this episode right now really appreciates it. I don't want to just give that stuff away to somebody that doesn't really care, doesn't even know what went into it. They just see something different and go, "Oh, that looks cool. I want it," but don't really understand it.
Every time I get a package from you, I spend hours just looking at the details.
Don't
Feel
spend
the
that much time, you'll go blind.
but you do so much work and details. It's so amazing, you know.
Thank you.
I don't see a whole lot of people doing that. So
I'll tell you what, they do it. And I've said this on plenty of episodes too. They put just as much time and detail, but when you build the same thing as everybody else, it gets lost in
it
the
gets
in what
it gets
everybody else
boring.
builds. Yeah. And I'm not trying to bash anybody that's going to be watching this. I'm not trying to say anything bad or anything, uh, whatever. But like the Amherst show that we're going to do live tomorrow night, that we would be up in Massachusetts for already. Um, you look at their display tables and they're all displaying the same thing. And unless you're a fan of that person, or unless you're a diehard truck commercial construction guy and you know the difference between every single vehicle on that table, they all look the same to me. But that's to me because I'm not a commercial truck guy. It doesn't do nothing for me. I appreciate that they haul my packages from eBay back and forth across the country, but that's all it does. It doesn't do nothing else for me, um, unless you customize it. That's the only way I like it. But with that being said, I can't tell the difference. If you could have bought that truck looking the same way as I see it, or you can completely scratch built all of it and I wouldn't know the difference. But you take a car that everybody already else has on their layout and you completely change it up to where it doesn't look like that car at all. It looks like a show car from a car show or something. Put some candy sparkle paint job on it that looks like rainbows, then that's going to obviously stand out over anything else. May not be what you like, but you'll be able to know that it looks different. And that's what I'm about. That's all I'm about. I'm an attention whore. I need people to see and go, "Oh my God, that's awesome." May not want it, but it still looks different.
But like I said, eBay is like Russian roulette because it's like if you post it at the right time, you'll get the attention that you want. But if you post it at the wrong time, it's like you may have that guy who may see what you have and say, "I'm willing to pay $1,000 for it." You're like, 1,000? This is nowhere near worth 1,000. But he just
You want
happened to
it.
be on eBay that day that
Yeah.
you posted. But if you post it another day, there's guys who's trying to give you $5 when the vehicle that you bought costs double that just plain without you even doing any work to it. So it's hit or miss.
Right. That's funny you say that because being that I'm a classic car guy, I watch a lot of like Meekum car auction and Bear Jackson. And their car auctions usually go for a 4-day span, say like Thursday to Sunday. And if you are going or you watching that show live from Thursday, there ain't nothing there that's worth anything. So those cars are going for pennies. Like you can get, I watched, and some of you watching or watching this tomorrow, watching this now, some of you may not understand what I'm fully trying to say, but there was a Toyota mini truck, completely customized, frame off, everything customized on this. There was not one stock part on this truck that wasn't touched. Custom air ride system, custom interior, custom sound system, custom paint job. There must have been $40,000 or more tied into this truck. And the truck sold for $9,000 on a Thursday. Full show worthy mini truck. A whole undercarriage was completely done, clean, customized. $9,000. And I said, that's the day you want to go to an auction, is when none of the cars that everybody else wants is going to be there, and nobody there is there neither. And just steal stuff. I think I saw like a 1965 Cadillac go for like 6,000. That was an everyday running condition. May not have been show worthy condition, but it was like, and when I say show worthy, like museum quality, but it was a daily driver. Daily driver for $6,000 for a classic Cadillac? You can't go wrong.
Mm.
So yeah, same things. That is like the same thing as eBay or probably even Amazon. Can you sell your own stuff on Amazon? I don't have an Amazon account. I don't even know.
I don't think so. Personally, I think they cater more to businesses and stuff. And with eBay, I like to buy off eBay, but I hate selling on eBay because they charge fees, like a
Right.
10% value fee. And then at the end of the month, they give you a statement, and there's more fees on top of that. So like,
Oh,
like me, I had an old blue box Freightliner that I detailed up just a little bit, standard stuff, paint details, mud flaps, just a few small touches. And I had it listed on there for $20 and free shipping, which for an HO scale road tractor, you think anybody would find a bargain. But it took a couple weeks to sell, and then after that, I'm looking at $7 to ship it, and then eBay's fees. And so I try to stick to Facebook groups because otherwise, for me personally, there's no money to be made, and I'm not going to sit at the workbench and work for 8 hours on something if I'm not going to be reimbursed a little bit for my time and effort.
yeah, exactly. I mean, that's all I do on eBay. I just buy the stuff I can't make or find anywhere else. And I've said this also on other episodes. I don't have any hobby stores in my town. I got to go to the next city, which is 45 minutes away, and even those hobby stores aren't good. So, oh, cool. We got Steven. I call him Steven DeSoto. That's not his last name, but he's entering the chat. So that's cool. Steven, your audio's connecting. Hold on. Hopefully you can hear us. It's still connecting. We see you. You're fine seeing you, but your audio's connecting. But yeah, that's all I do with eBay. I just look for. Oh, he's connected.
How you
Steven.
doing, buddy?
I'm great, man. How you doing?
Good, good. How's everybody else doing?
Great. Thanks for asking.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
I'm glad that you joined in on tonight's episode.
I was
live
looking
show.
forward to it. I was looking forward to it.
Because tomorrow night there's going to be another one.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Because I feel like a lot of people might have got confused. Because I had
That's
planned
me all the
mine
time.
way before we planned this tomorrow night's episode.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you joined, man. It was a good interview that we had. I think a lot of people liked it because I didn't hear no bad reviews on it.
Well, nobody's put anything on my front door or busted up my car windows or set fire to the garage or nothing. So
Hey, that's a plus.
it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, I was telling
How good or bad? Does that make it worse?
I don't know. I play with my lights. I got two spotlights sitting right here, and I never know which one to use.
I'll try anything once.
That's what I was saying earlier in the podcast or in this
that's a little
episode.
better.
That sometimes I use my phone for the podcast on my phone. It's got a built-in like dampening system for lighting.
Yeah.
So it can brighten up or dim down automatically.
Yeah.
But this stupid camera I'm using right here, the one that I got from my work, it don't have that.
Yeah.
So I gotta play with these lights. Like I got this light that can make me look really white, and this light that makes me look dark, and then I got this light that makes me look pale. I don't know what to use.
It is what it is, I suppose.
Yeah.
Theodore, how you doing?
Hey, my son just want to say good night. He's going to bed. So
Good night, little
yeah,
man.
say good
Good
night.
night. Popping in.
Good night.
I like your Lamborghini.
Thank you.
So they like your car.
Thank you.
Yep. Attaboy.
He helps me.
Theodore?
He's 6. He helps me
Ah.
with. He actually helped me with a couple of the diagrams. Believe it or not.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. They get interested in that stuff. I enjoy your
Definitely.
buses. I enjoy your buses though.
Oh, I definitely appreciate that, man. Definitely.
As you can see, I spent a lot of years in the mechanical department with buses.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Yeah. Oh, hey, that's what's
I
up,
actually
man.
like a lot of the older buses. In fact, I got a bunch of flexibles, the old flexibles that they made.
Yeah, flexibles. I know about.
Yeah,
I'm a second generation bus driver. So my dad, he drove all them flexibles, the fish bowls, the GMCs, all that.
yeah. I had a couple of uncles used to drive for Greyhound and whatnot.
Okay, yeah. My dad drove for Trailways,
Yeah,
Continental
yeah,
Trailways, all of them. Uh-huh.
yeah. I used to love those old Golden Eagles. Remember those?
Oh man, those are classics, man.
Oh,
I
that bill was
iconic
still here and
replica
evident.
iconic replicas is actually making a few Eagles. They're working on it right now.
Oh, really?
Yes, they are.
That's cool. That's very cool. Yeah.
Speaking of buses, there's a bus that they made a train out of. You guys know about that train bus or that bus train? Or it's not that they made a train out of the bus. It's they use the bus chassis to use as the train cars. You know what I'm talking about?
I've seen a couple in museums. I'm trying to remember where it was. I think it was the B&O Railroad Museum had one. They would be like an old white, like the same company that used to make big trucks and tractors and stuff. They would make bus chassis,
Yeah.
and they would have railroad trucks, and they would use them like transporting crews and stuff and whatnot. So it's
Yeah,
pretty
the
cool.
newer
There's a
buses,
few
they
that are
just
preserved.
they just put 4 tires on the ground and then they start adding from there and they build frames as they go along. There's no really frame per se in those buses, the ones they build now anyways. They put the 4 wheels down and they build whatever the hell they got to build, storage or whatever.
Yeah.
And
This
I
was
used to work,
Yeah,
I
that's
used to
true.
work
Yeah.
for Laidlaw, and they had a lot of variations on them stuff. They used to take the MCIs and they used to the back half of it, the last 12, 14 feet of it, would actually be a cargo truck bed, a cargo truck,
Yep.
and they go blasting down the road. Because up there, you go blasting down the road, and then all of a sudden, the pavement starts, and it's all parked gravel, and they go for hundreds of miles out there. And it's just, you think you're in a race car. They got stone guards on the lights and the whole 9 yards.
They had in St. Louis, they have a transportation museum that they have a bunch of trains in their lot, and they have one of those. It almost looks like a 50s, 60s style turbine train or jet engine train,
Oh, yeah.
and it had like 4 or 5 cars, and the cars are all on bus chassis.
Yeah.
So just the 2 wheels or 2 axles, and I always thought that was so neat, just
Up in
because it was a
Pennsylvania,
concept that
there's-
never happened, never went through completely.
Up in Pennsylvania, near not far from Carlisle, there's a museum of transportation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
And, did you ever see the
Hershey.
Mack bus they got up there?
yeah, they got one up in Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Hershey, that's where it is. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been
I
trying to
never
go
been
to
there.
that place. Every year they have like a spring fling. I've been trying to catch that every year, and I never make it.
I used to go to Carlisle once a year for the Corvette thing, and I used to stop and go by there all the time. And they got a little bit of everything in there. They got cars, trucks, and down on the bottom is a whole slew of buses you never even thought existed.
Well, some of
There's
those
a
old
Greyhound bus
concept.
museum that I've been to. I don't remember where it's at. Is it in crikey, it's Minnesota or somewhere out there? I'll have to look it up, but it's pretty cool. It's sort of off the wall type of place.
Yeah, yeah. Those are the best places, You go to those things, you find things you never thought existed, or never knew existed, or never thought about, really.
Right.
So,
Hibbing,
so much.
Minnesota. That's where it's at.
That's.
So what
I
else is
think that's what's
everybody,
great about the concept vehicles. Concept vehicles, like even
Yeah.
in the commercial world, they have like GMC had concept diesel trucks
You
that
got
look
everything.
futuristic, and Ford had the same thing. And even in the, car world, they had concept cars that you've never seen. So just like buses, they've got concept buses that, tried and tested and figured out they weren't going to work. So who knows where they are if they're not in a museum.
You never know. When I was a kid, and I'm going to show you my age. Anybody laughs, I'm coming after you. My parents took me to the New York World's Fair back in 1964. And we saw the Mustang when it first got introduced.
That's awesome. I love that story.
That's a true. We used to go on vacation because my mother was from North Carolina, and we lived in Rhode Island. So every two weeks and every year, my father used to throw us all in the car, and we drive all the way down to Silver, North Carolina, which is on the Tennessee border. And we spend a couple of weeks down there, and we come back. And every year, we went to the Smithsonian one year, went to the State Senate building one year. We went to where they raided the other week. We went
That's
all
awesome.
over. The Space Museum, all that stuff. And one year we stopped in New York City when they had the World's Fair in 1964. They had the Disney had that big thing. It's a small world.
Yeah, that's where they debuted that.
And the Mustang, that was the year that Ford introduced the Mustang. It was a 64 and a half Mustang.
Right.
It was a whole big hullabaloo. I still remember it. But I told you nobody laughed.
I wish I remembered that. I really do. I know I was born in the wrong decade. Because I would love to have gone to a World's Fair.
Yeah. That was. I was in the school band when I was in high school. We went to Montreal. We had a World's Fair up in Montreal. I went there, so I was lucky. I got to travel around a little bit.
That's cool. I mean, we don't have nothing cool like that anymore. Nothing that showcased the best of the world. We don't have that no more.
Too much garbage around now.
Right. I mean, the closest thing you can get to that is to go to New York and see every walk of life in the world in New York City or LA.
Yeah.
Or go to Epcot and Disney World because they got every major country in that little tiny amusement park of Epcot. Yeah, whatever.
Hey, you know what? They told me move to Arizona. It's a real dry heat. Tell that to the guy with my truck covered in snow the other day, will you?
Well, when it is hot, it is dry. It's got to be hot, though.
It sure as hell wasn't hot the other day, let me tell you.
No. See, that's what's crazy. Like being born and raised in Southern California, the only time you see snow is at certain elevation levels. You got to be 3,000 feet or higher above sea level. In Arizona, it varies just by the city.
Well,
so you could be very high.
Supposedly, the snow belongs up towards Flagstaff, which is about 2 hours north of me. But somebody missed a rope or something that came.
Right.
So.
Well, you're from the East Coast, right?
Rhode Island, yeah.
Yeah, so you're used to snow anyways, just not where you live now.
Yeah, I even got rid of the 4-wheel drive and bought a 2-wheel drive now. It's snowing. I'm like, what the hell? I didn't move far enough south.
Right. Got to move a lot closer to that equator.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I'll say.
That's funny because on my personal Facebook page, it snowed yesterday morning, like early morning. And I had a guy from Australia say, I've never actually seen snow, only on pictures and in movies. I was like, wow.
There's a lot of people like that,
There is. It's just weird to think that there still are.
Yeah.
Like people that live in the Midwest and say they've never seen the ocean in real life. That just seems weird to me.
Well, at one time, my grandmother and my grandfather from North Carolina, my father took and brought them up to Rhode Island at one time. But in actuality, when they hit the Chesapeake Bay Bridge, my grandmother thought it was the biggest river she ever saw.
It is the biggest river she ever saw.
They had never seen the ocean. They didn't know what the hell the ocean was.
That doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, gosh, you live in North Carolina on a coastal state. You've never seen the ocean.
Yeah, well, you're on the coast. They were
But
on the
even
Tennessee, they were
the
on the
whole
Tennessee
state.
border.
The whole state's on the coast.
Yeah, but they were on the Tennessee border, and they were, the old time folks. They never saw,
I
they
guess
never
not.
traveled or all that stuff.
Right. It makes sense. I mean,
They lived in the mountains, baby.
Yeah.
Anything interesting going on, or enough of my talking? I think Tyler's getting sick of listening to me.
Well, we got
I just got a
John.
question. I
John
just got
Walker
a question
joining.
for Jacob.
Where'd he go?
Oh, there he is.
I was just curious how did he get his background with his truck in the back? I think that's nice.
Well, since I'm an online college student, I'm a little bit of a Zoom virtuoso. So if you're on a phone, I'm not sure about how to do it on an iPhone, but on my screen there's a green shield up in the top left corner.
Mm-hmm.
And you click on that, and there's a setting that is background and filters, and you can upload your own pictures to make your background. You can put your background as a video too. So like, I could change mine to. There's a mountainscape. There's
wow.
Smokey and the Bandit.
Oh, that's nice.
There's a couple of my Norfolk Southern engines.
I lost you here.
And then just a couple of different truck pictures. So, but that I'm not sure. You could probably just a quick Google search how to change background on iPhone, because I have an Android, so I can't be of much help, unfortunately.
Oh, I got an Android too.
I found a few articles on the Google Help Center that might answer your question.
Well, that's good to know.
There goes my Google Home. Sorry for that. She's very attentive.
I don't know where I am.
I know. So
I ended up on my home page. What in the world?
So what I know, like I'm using my PC, and I know if I scroll.
Oh, there you are.
If I use my mouse and I scroll over my actual my face, there's 3 dots on the right hand side, and that allows you to change stuff in it. So you should be able to change background, and what it should do is it should just go to your photos in your computer or in your phone, and you could usually pick something in your phone.
Huh. I see the green shield, but last time I pushed it, I lost everybody.
We got John Walker with us. I don't know where John is. He looks like he's in the dark, and his mic's on mute, so I don't know if he's trying to talk to us.
Oh.
Looks like he might be outside.
Well, he's somewhere.
Yeah.
There he is.
There you are, John.
I can see him now.
I'm here.
Cool, man. Thanks for coming in.
I'm actually not even home yet. I had to stop to get food.
Hey, food's important, so don't starve yourself just to
we can't we have to still take out here in Washington State, so, or at least in where we live in Washington State.
North Carolina allows you to go inside, but you got to wear your mask.
Oh,
I don't think you can sit inside. I think you can just order inside and get the hell out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't eat in there, so I don't really know.
So I don't know if y'all could actually see me, but I was
You're like a ghost. You're shivering in and out of your photo.
Can you see me now?
Yeah, well, for the most part. I mean, on the bottom of your picture, you got your name, so we know who you are.
Oh,
Yeah, I gotta get
turn that off for now. I'll mess with it later.
your buses are awesome there, Theodore.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man.
Unbelievable.
Uh-oh.
They
It's
are
cool.
back.
You gotta
Love
love
back.
this technology. Comes and goes.
Yeah, that it does.
So you build anything special, John, as of
Am I
late?
doing anything special?
Are you building anything at all?
Oh, well, I'm actually starting to get back into it. I just bought a large collection of train stuff, a lot of buildings and that type of stuff. A lot of buildings, but I'm getting ready to get back into it. I've got my room all straightened up finally, and yeah, I got the bug. I've been going to I have to travel 3 hours to get to the hobby shop. But
Yikes!
Yeah, I got the same problem out here. If I wanted to go to a good one that's got HO.
yeah, that the one over there in Spokane, Washington is really nice, but there's one I travel 3 hours, 2.5, 3 hours south, and it'd probably take you a week to go through their shop. They got so much crammed in there.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I don't want to drive over an hour to get to my hobby shop, so screw it.
Well, I either have to order online or go or drive. Yeah, whatever.
I got spoiled when I was in Rhode Island. I was like 10 minutes away from the, AA Hobbies, one of the best joints around. But out here, it's like search and destroy, Hobby Bench and Hobby Lobby, which is like, hit admit us at best.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, all we have out here is
Another
a
one's pretty
Hobby
good,
Lobby.
but he's all military stuff, military and airplanes, and I'm not into that.
All we have are Hobby Towns. So in order to go to Hobby Town, you have to take out a loan first, and you have to show the proof of your loan at the door before they'll even let you in. Because Hobby Town, man, they'll eat you up.
That sounds like Hobby Bench up here. Oh, dear Lord.
Howdy, folks.
Hobby Bench,
Hey.
that's where I saw your ambulance, buddy.
Tom Hart.
Hey,
Tom?
How's it going?
How you doing, Tommy?
Where are you at in this world? Because it's daytime behind you.
Yeah, I'm in my dorm room right now, so I just put that virtual background up so you don't have to see the sort of mess in here. It's just kind of boring.
They all know how to do it. We just learned how to do it ourselves.
Yeah, I know it. There's gonna be a way.
See, it's a young man's game, Theodore. We too old.
Yeah, it's all those young kids. They know how to do everything.
That's why I don't want to learn nothing. See? Because I'm an old man.
Oh, dear Lord.
So
Not
here's
that
a
hard to
question.
learn, though.
Here's a question for everybody. Are you muting yourself, or is the Zoom doing that for you?
I'm muting myself personally. I got a
Oh.
roommate, so I don't want to bother him, but that's just me.
Oh, okay. I see you guys muted. I just didn't know if Zoom was doing that or not. I don't know.
Yeah, I mute myself.
Cool. Sounds
I
good.
normally
I just
do,
wanted to
but-
make sure. I want to make sure the system wasn't broken or something.
I'll give you that idea.
Right. Well, before you joined, Steven, I realized we were 23 or 24 minutes into this live stream and I didn't hit record. So
Nothing new, right? It is what it is.
well, at least this
It's a mystery
time,
podcast.
right. This time I got the podcast on the right YouTube channel. The first live stream, it went to my personal channel and nobody watched it live, but like one or two people. So
That's
at
why I
least this
couldn't get
time I
through. All right.
At least this time I realized what was wrong and how to fix it.
Cool. Cool.
So what's new,
Like,
Tom?
it's like me. I thought I bought a couple of Volkswagens. The what are they, the Barrica or whatever the hell they call them there.
Oh,
Model
21,
Power.
21 windows.
Yeah, I thought I bought two of them. I went to the mailbox one day. I got 20 of these things.
Oh,
Holy
Don't
cow.
ask me how or whatever, but I did it. it wasn't eBay.
The
Wow.
question was, did you pay for 20 of them?
Yeah,
Oh man.
dumbass.
Jeez.
I didn't realize until it was too late. Until I opened the box.
Wow.
I went and checked and I said, the only good thing is it was only like, $1.50 a piece. So
That's great.
Those are just like the Crown Victorias. The Crown Victorias, they used to be in $5 each. They're $15 now. You wait a little bit, and that van will be worth a lot.
yeah.
It's like
It's
the
all,
admin
it's all
trailers.
supply and demand, whatever, who wants this, when, or where, or whatever. Just like with my casting, everybody wanted everything. So I'd make 10 or 15 of them. And then all of a sudden, nobody wanted nothing.
Right.
So I threw them in a bag and put them in a box. Now I can't find them. Everybody wants.
That's the biggest problem with modeling is you're not just a modeler, you're a collector. And that collection ends up all over the place.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And the
I
longer
still
you
got
collect,
stuff. I moved here 2 years ago. I still got stuff up here I haven't even looked at.
the longer you collect, the more crap you acquire, and it just builds and builds and builds. So you could have had something you bought 2 years ago and forgot all about it.
And the other thing too is all right, we do HO scale 187. But how many of you, and I'll bet you every one of you, that one little thing always catches your eye? Like 1/8 scale, 1/18 scale, 1/25 scale. And they're a hell of a lot more, you need a hell of a lot more room to store that crap than you do the little ones. And it just perpetuates itself. It's the whole thing.
Well, me and Jacob was talking about that before we even started going live was 164 scale Hot Wheels compared to 187 scale.
Yeah.
And that Hot Wheels world, or the 164 scale world, is growing in leaps and bounds in the diorama section and the module section. I mean, all of a sudden, within like the last 2 years, you can find all these buildings for it, and you can build actual scenes. And you think, even though they're small, that's 2 times the size of our scale. Yeah. Imagine the amount of stuff we can fit in half of that size. And then we were saying N scale. You're going to lose so much more detail, but you can gather so much more, extra room because of that scale.
Well, I'll tell you what, from all those years going up to the train show up in Springfield, that N scale is, you look at those working engines and stuff, that's pretty damn amazing. I mean, something that's small, even with a magnifying glass, you can't see some of this stuff. That's pretty amazing that stuff even runs, it even works. And there's another scale, if I'm not mistaken.
There's
Was
Z
it
scale and T scale
that's
both.
even smaller. That's even smaller than that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
T?
Yeah, and they're running trains. I mean, guys, they actually
Z scale is actually the smallest.
Is it? But
Is it the smallest, or is there not one smaller?
Not nearly as common.
I don't know. Those are the smallest I think I've seen was the N scale, and then the one just below it, and I think that was called Z scale. I'm not sure of that. But
Yeah.
it is amazing.
They got steam engines in that scale that are running like an HO size would or bigger, and you're thinking, how's that possible? They got little tiny robots building these because no human can build something that small and make it work that good.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. I mean, you stop and think about that. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I have trouble with some of these HO bots. Imagine working on that stuff. Oh.
Right. Well, and that's the crazy thing too, because think about, we're talking about detail, and they're only getting better and better in that scale. So imagine the detail that's going to start to come out if it's not already out for that. And you're going to wonder yourself, like, why? Your eyeballs can't even see that. But, a lot of people can't even see HO scale, and they're putting so much detail in those. So the younger people that are going to get into the N scale because of, the size room they have and what they want to build, they can probably see that stuff and they're going to go for that detail.
It's
Your eyeballs can't see it,
I
but your
forget
wallet can.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
True.
Go ahead, Tommy.
I said what I wanted to say. It's good. You go ahead.
At Springfield every year, I forget the gentleman's name, an English gentleman. Anyways, he would sit there and the whole thing, and he would take, I don't know if you ever seen those kits, those metal kits made out of brass and whatnot. And you got to punch out all the parts and trim them up and bend them and all this. He would sit there for hours and he would make these things. It was just unbelievable. I used to see him make train engines, trucks, the old wagons, the old covered wagons and stuff, all these kits. And he'd sit there and I would like, how does he do that? You know what I'm saying? Some of these people can really and truly, they're artists. That's all you can say about it. They're artists, and
Right.
stuff they make is just unbelievable. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's really cool. I was I think the end of last year, somebody posted on one of the groups that I have, I think the Hot Rod Rat Rod group, a YouTube video of somebody overseas building the very first complete RC lowrider car in 187 scale. So the car rises up and goes like this and side to side.
Yeah, I saw that.
And that blew my mind because I never thought it was going to happen. I would love for it to happen, but I didn't think it was going to. And then that guy did it, and I've been talking to him back and forth, and he's never going to get rid of it. He's never going to build another one, but he scratch built every part for that.
Yeah,
because
unbelievable.
They didn't have parts just to make that thing do that. So he had to make it do that himself. And I said, what do you want for it, man? I'll almost pay anything. And he said, I'm not getting rid of it. So, oh, well, I guess I'll never have it.
Well, that's like the people that build those cranes and stuff. And they actually were. I mean, they put the little crank.
Oh, yeah, the Kellys.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, they're madmen.
You take a look at some of that stuff. It works. It's accurate. It's not make believe. It's real. And the amount of work that goes into some of that stuff, it's just unbelievable.
Yeah, I think the next step for them is to radio control it. So it literally works. I mean, every part on their models move and do what they're supposed to, but you got to manually make it do that. The next step is to add motors to do it radio control.
There was one guy that I saw on the internet a couple of years ago that when he built his diorama, okay, he built it so that it had legs, okay, and underneath, using the radio control stuff, he had wires and cables.
Like actuators to make things move?
Go up and down. He had little motors, and he would sit there with buttons. And in other words, it wasn't the actual model, but it was from underneath, and the lines like came up and went over, and the crane went up and went down, and the whole thing went back and forth, and it was incredible. It was incredible.
I was just
the engineering that this guy used to do. It was incredible.
In this next season, I talked to somebody about that. I can't remember who I was talking to, so forgive me. But we were talking about that's the next step in our modeling, is to make what is basically a still picture besides a train moving or a car driving, is a still photograph on your whole layout to make all that stuff move. Even if you're just moving up and down or side to side, it's moving, it looks real, like the Wonderland in Germany.
Yeah.
At least half of their figurine, I can't say that, a quarter of their figurines all move. And that's the next step in our evolution of this hobby, is to
It's like
make everything look.
Some guys take that now and like they'll show a truck backing into a loading dock or something or whatever, and they take one frame at a time.
Oh yeah, like stop motion animation.
And they put it all together.
Yeah.
You have a little business for that.
on the second episode of this season, this guy London Drysdale, he's a young kid too. He did that. He has his own YouTube channel, and he's done that on his videos because he doesn't have radio control cars, but he stop motion made his layout move and cars move on it and whatnot. It's really neat.
That name sounds familiar. That might be who I'm talking about.
Maybe.
There is a guy.
It wasn't that long ago that I saw it. It was recently, and it was like a truck backing into a loading dock and taking off and whatnot. And I recognized the name from the different. You're on so many groups. God only knows where you land up sometimes. But
right. Well, we got somebody new that joined.
Yeah.
Hey, Galaxy A11. What's up, man?
What's up, Sam?
How's it going?
Well, finally able to make one of these podcasts.
There you go.
Well, that's awesome. Appreciate you joining in. We're having another one tomorrow, by the way.
Maybe I'll be better prepared for that one.
It's all good. I mean, hey, at least you tried for this one, and you succeeded for the most part. You're here.
Yeah.
Hey, we can see you and we can hear you. That's the best I can ask for. So
I just wish I had some stuff out to be able to show you.
Oh, it's all good. What give us a verbal preview. what did you plan on showing us? Or even for tomorrow night?
Well, right now, when I actually get around to building HO scale vehicles, I'm mainly doing the River Point stations.
Mm-hmm.
And I mix the River Point stations with like Boley and stuff like that. Just make something different because I really do not like having what everybody else has.
No,
you too? Good, because too many people have what everybody else has.
Well, Sam, you already know who taught me.
Say his name, because I don't think I know.
Mr. Russell Campbell.
Yeah, he was a good guy. Oh well.
Yeah, I knew him for well over 10 years, and every bit of my decaling and painting definitely has his trademarks in it.
That's cool.
That's cool. That's really cool.
It's great. He was definitely a really nice guy. Definite, good teacher and just a all around great guy that unfortunately left us too soon.
Yeah.
Way too soon. He was working on some stuff that you guys would really love.
Yeah, I know he was getting into those two-piece resin bodies, like a body and an interior.
Yeah, we were just starting to do all that too. We were just starting to get ready to pour a bunch of two-piece molds and everything like that because I was right there with him through most of it.
Yeah. It's funny that we're talking about Russ Campbell because another one that just passed around close to the same time, maybe within a year of each other, Ryan Kelly.
Yeah, I was friends with him on Facebook. He was a good dude too.
I reached out to his oldest daughter, which I don't think saw my message because we're not friends on Facebook. But I reached out to her and to see if she wouldn't mind talking about her dad and his modeling life, for an episode of the podcast. But I can see my message and she hasn't seen it. And I don't really want to bug her. I thought maybe messaging her that might be bugging her too much. I don't know.
I remember when Ryan built that house and it was like board for board, interior included. I'm like,
yeah,
I bow to you. I cannot do that.
See, as bad as his life might have been, the great things about him, it really showed when he decided to show us. Like that, every one of his dioramas were just unbelievably built to
detailed. I mean, they were highly detailed.
Yeah, he was building this road on one of his layouts, and he built the road exactly how you would build a road today. by digging out the foundation and laying, whatever down first, and then laying the second layer down, then the tar on top or the cement. And he built it exactly how you would build a real road. And I thought, why would you do that? That's just so much wasted time, and nobody's going to see that. But he did it, and that was his skill set. He knew how to do it, and he was able to do it.
Well, it's just like us when we build models. We do stuff that no one else will really notice, but we do.
I do stuff only people notice, sir.
Well, you go over the top. When I end up doing something, if somebody tells me my stuff looks like the real deal going down the road, I take that as a compliment.
That
But
is a
I
major
don't put working lights in it. I don't do really fancy paint jobs. The most fancy paint job I might do is a metallic clear coat.
That's still nice.
That's about as fancy as I get. I don't do flames or anything like that. I'm not that good at it yet.
Well, I mean, it's always a learning step to get to the next level. So, you'll eventually get there if you want to get there. It's really up to the modeler. You're only going to get as good as you want to get.
I've only been really doing vehicles for, I think, 3-4 years now, off and on. But I've been in model trains since I was 5, and I'm 38. So
that's cool. So at least you're in the hobby of modeling in one way or another. That's really where it counts, because there's people that collect and never modeled anything. They just collect, so they don't know nothing about model wise. They just know how to collect stuff that is super rare or super, expensive or whatever. And then there's modelers. And if you're even from the beginning of modeling to, an experienced modeler, you never stop learning.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. If you think about it, modelers, we're actually kind of a dying breed in this hobby.
Yes.
Everybody wants that shake the box stuff. And to me, I don't want to have to buy a $25 rail car and then tear the thing completely down just to detail it the way it should have been for the money, and then weather it up just to put it back together and put it on the rails.
Yep, sure enough.
Or to put it in a display case for it to sit there and never see the light of day unless you go to a show.
I got about $6,000 worth of model trains that I could easily pull out and show you that are just shelf queens right now because I don't have a layout yet.
Wow. I don't have that much money in anything.
Well, you got to think, from age 5, I mean, back when I was 17, I was working 40 hours a week and at the metro parks. And then also on top of the 40-hour a week at metro parks, I was doing 20 at Kroger as a bagger.
Golly, man.
Hey, you got to make that paper to make your life somehow.
At 16?
17.
That's same age.
Yeah, now I rebuild breakers and everything for power plants, so it's gotten a lot easier. I can only work 40 hours now.
Well, I'm sure your body appreciates that too.
Oh, you ain't kidding.
We ain't so young anymore as we used to be.
Yeah, I ain't no spring chicken anymore. I'm actually trying to find something and I can't.
That's
well,
so
the other
funny
thing
you
too
say
is,
that.
the other thing about this hobby that sometimes bothers me, but like there's 6 of us right here, right now, and we all build a little differently. We all try to build what we see or what we feel. And there's 6 of us here, and there's probably 6 of us with 6 different levels. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you go to a show and you think you did a pretty good job. And then, not that I'm down talking or anything, but then one of these rivet counters comes over and starts busting your chops. And it's like, buddy, what are you busting my chops for? I did what I could do. You do what you do. You like rivets?
Right.
What do I care? I think what you did looks good, but don't come over here and bust my chops. And that kind of gets to me every once in a while. But I've learned now to yeah, whatever.
In the model railroad world, we call those rivet counters, and we usually politely, depending on how they come across to us, show them the door.
Do not
With
like
that-
rivet counters.
With that same thing being said,
No.
there's a difference from when you say you buy something right out of the box and then you
Yes.
display it as yours, like you built it.
Yeah.
And then when somebody says, "No, you didn't. I had the same thing from the show right next door, whatever." You know, that's where the difference is, because you could build something and just add mirrors or just change the wheels. In the Hot Wheel world, we call it just a wheel swap.
Yeah.
You can just do that, and you didn't really do anything, but just that little bit is still something you did compared to buying it from the store.
But you're happy with it. I
Right.
don't really give a damn what you think about what I did. I'm happy
Right.
with it.
Well, look, perfect example when I joined this scale hobby. I got ripped off of my very first post in the 187 scale group.
I remember
Ripped.
that.
I think I remember that too, because you were using metallic nail polish and everybody was just like, that
No.
don't look right.
That wasn't
Who
it.
cares?
I posted a Hot Wheels 187 scale panel.
Yeah, you got
55
buried
Chevy
on that
panel
one.
with flames on it.
Oh, I got one of those.
It wasn't actually 187 scale. It's like 180th scale or something.
I
And
remember that.
they considered it at the time the biggest post thread they've had for the longest time or ever, because the battle of what was in scale, what wasn't in scale, what's right, what's not right. And that alone didn't keep me from not wanting to keep building. I said, well, I don't really care if you guys don't like it. I'm going to keep doing it anyways. As long as you keep me in the group and allow me to post, I'm going to build what I want. And as long as I like it, I don't care if nobody else likes it.
And you know, the most ironic part of that whole deal, okay, was years ago when we all got started in this deal, okay? Maybe before I got there, but years ago, before, you know, it is what it is today. What in God's name did they use? Hot Wheels, Margaret, this, that, and it was like just a conglomeration of stuff.
Right.
I mean, over the years, it's kind of like gotten a lot better because there's a lot more available. There's a lot more stuff that's being made and whatnot in our scale. But in the beginning, it was whatever you found in the goddamn
Yeah,
trash.
very slim pickings.
You know what I'm saying? And if you go back and you look in 187th, in the 187 Vehicle Club thing, you look at some of those real old ones, you can see what I'm talking about. It's not until now that, you know, people have gotten into it. And now people like Kurt over in Germany, you know, guy actually takes like a Margaret cab and cuts it in half and channels it and brings it all down and puts it all together and makes it 187. But before that happened, it was whatever was in the shoebox that you played with, you cleaned up and you made something with it. And
Exactly.
a lot of people have forgotten about that.
And
that's what they used to do.
And what's one of the biggest things in history itself is to remember the past. Remember what was, so you don't make the same mistakes or whatever.
Absolutely.
Exactly what you're saying. So many people forget about, you know, what was back then and just, you know, look about what's today and what's in the future. And there was nothing wrong with what was back then because it's what you had.
No. I mean, remember the bully, the tree truck with the you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The cab looked one size, but the body was like, you know, it looked like a pickup truck with a big body on it. You know what I'm talking about?
Wow.
And
I mean, I don't, but
have one right here.
Yeah, people used that stuff for years. And it wasn't until later on that, hey, wait a minute, that ain't the same size, that they decided to cut it in half, take a section out, put it together, and make it so it fits. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, there you go. There's one of them right there. See, the body looks so much bigger than the cab. But that was what was available.
Right.
Yeah. But some of the old the resin kits, like was it Munson? the IH cab. Looked like
Oh yeah,
Jolly-
the old Magnuson kits.
yeah,
Yes,
looked like the
Magnus.
Jolly Green Giant reached down and squeezed the shit out of it. But you know, it was years and years before anybody actually took and fixed it and made it look, you know, more realistic.
Right now, Greg Dixon's doing a great job at that. He's taking like 1/64 scale and either shrinking them down or cutting them down, and then molding them in resin to resell and whatnot. He's doing a pretty good job.
He made an awesome dump truck out of one of these old Matchbox F700s. I don't want to turn my background off because my room's a mess, but you know what I'm talking about, the old Matchbox bucket trucks. But,
Turn the camera around and put it on the other side of your camera.
and it's a webcam, so I don't think I can. If I switched over to my phone, I could.
Oh,
but,
got you.
But
I thought you were on your phone. Never mind. Don't worry about it.
So
Yeah.
is that the L Series Ass Soldier?
That's a different one. That is, but the 3 that you sold me, I've still got. The 2 cabs you sold me, I built, and then the old green one with the headache rack got some updates, and it's still chugging along. So,
I gotta ask, do you have a tally on how many you have so far total?
45. And counting the ones I've sold, I'm north of 50 something. So, and if you got any more, you just let me know.
Hey, just
I'll
keep
let you
talking.
know.
I'll be right back. Just keep talking. I'll be right back.
That shrinking stuff, boy, I remember doing. I started that years ago. I started doing that stuff. First, we used to do like a wood putty that was mixed with water, and it came out. And then there was Hydra Shrink, Hydra Span, and now most of the time now I use the Smooth On with the Novox, which works a lot better. And people used to take. I can remember people taking going outside, taking the molds and soaking them in gasoline, of all things, to get them to shrink. And then people used to use the thinner, lacquer thinner and stuff. They would mix it with the silicone. And then when it would evaporate, the mold would shrink. You know, if you hit it right on, you're doing good. Sometimes you have to go, and do it better. I remember, you guys remember, any of you guys remember the old cab over the L700 the Dodge had, looked like a Dodge van?
Yeah,
Actually, it was a Dodge van. They just put fenders on it and slapped it on the
I
chassis.
remember those.
All right, well, way back when, I had one that was a little red wagon or something, a little orange drag car from Matchbox. Well, I started with that. And I detailed it out a little bit, and then I shrunk it down, and I shrunk it down, and I shrunk it down. And then I ended up, I made some castings of it, which were pretty good. Not a lot of detail, but pretty good. And then, a couple of years later, Barinka, or whatever you call it, came out with the Dodge vans and stuff. And I said, hey, that looks pretty damn good. I bet you I could do something with that. So I took the van body, I cut it all up, and I put extra fenders on it and whatnot, this, that, and the other thing, and I added some things to it, and I ended up with this. And then I've been using these now. I casted it and I made it. And right after that, they come along. That's like I was telling you, Sam. Remember when you think of something and you do it,
Right.
5 minutes later, somebody else has already done it.
Right.
I mean, that's the fun of this stuff. That's the fun of this stuff. And the thing is, though, you got to pay attention, and you gotta really want to do some of this stuff, because there's a lot of things out there that just ain't so.
On a side note, did you know that Ford, before they came out with the C Series, they took the Econoline van
Yes.
and made a medium duty
Yes.
out of it? I saw the
Yes.
prototype picture the other day. That's wild.
Yep, they did that. Chevrolet also did it.
Yep.
Believe it or not, Chevrolet also did it with their van, and it was a version, believe it or not, with the front end of the Corvair. Remember the Corvair van?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, the
Carry on.
Yep, they took and they widened it. I think it was 6.5, 7 inches, and they lengthened it and they raised it up a little bit, but it never took off. It was Ralph Nader took care of that. But Dodge, they were fairly popular, especially for city driving and whatnot. I've made a couple. I made a car carrier with one, and I made a wrecker with another one, a fire truck. And then one of the first things I was really successful with after I learned how to do it was the International Lone Star. You know Lone Star?
Mm-hmm.
When it first came out? This, that, and the other thing. And then there was our buddy, you know who I'm talking about, Sam, that screwed that all up with the guy overseas.
Right.
But I did a whole bunch of those, a lot of those. And then but do you guys remember Ken Ensign? I don't know if you guys ever remember Ken Ensign. There was a group on Facebook called HO Vehicles. Ken and I started that years and years ago when Facebook was still going. And he passed away and whatnot. And I used to do a lot of stuff with him. We did Fleet Stars, and Cargo Stars, and a whole bunch of stuff. I get a chance tomorrow, I'm gonna take some pictures of those and put them up. But there's no end to your imagination, but you gotta be wanting to do it, really. And that's another thing. I talking a lot over here. I haven't got off my ass and actually finished anything in about 3 months. But you know, it's like everything else. You know.
I'll show you guys an example of what I got into when I got burnt out of my my world headquarters. Let me go get it. I'll be right back.
But the detail part is the part that a lot of people miss. Like you say, they put so much work into it that they never see it. You know, this is a person like yourself, one of us that, like, you know, you actually go, you notice stuff like that. You know what I mean? And then you say, wow, how the hell did he do that?
Earlier when you were talking about the guy at the train show who animates things, is that the guy at the helicopter and the excavator?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. You can actually buy this from him if you I used to have his email. Yeah, I don't have his email anymore. He prints, you know, resin stuff, and he makes those lighting effects. I have 2 of the lighting effect kits.
Are you talking about the guy that goes to Springfield, Ohio, and when they used to have the Hair Arena shows, went there too?
We're talking about the Springfield Mass show, but the guy could be there. Middle-aged fella. He has an N-scale layout.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Sounds familiar. I don't know if it's the same guy or not, but I never get out to Massachusetts.
Yeah, it's possible.
Great show if you ever get a chance. But anyways, this is what I was going to show you. So it's a 1/25th scale 64 Impala lowrider with a, let's see, with a, I don't know how to make this light work good. It's got a custom paint job on it.
Oh, cool.
With custom graphics on the hood.
Oh, the lace and everything, huh?
Yeah, and on the trunk, and then on the side, it's got custom paint. And then the interior is all
do that
done.
in real life, don't you?
I mean, I could. I don't. But I don't really want to waste that much time. I did this whole car in like a day.
Wow.
That's really nice for a day's work.
Also.
Yeah. A real car would take much longer. I don't want to deal with all that.
Yeah, a couple of minutes anyways.
Right.
I've actually watched some of those guys do those paint jobs. They actually go to the fabric shop, lay out the fabric, and then paint right over top of it. And it's an art form, just that.
Yeah, because look, if you wanted to, I don't have anything. I guess if you wanted to do a paint job like what's on the roof, there would be so much back masking that has to be done with it. You're looking at like probably 50 rolls of tape just for the roof, maybe 50 rolls of tape for the trunk, and then probably 200 rolls of tape for the whole side of the car. And it's just taping the design and then masking the rest of the body, and then painting that little strip, and then taping that strip and unpeeling other strips, and then taping that and untaping that and taping it out. Blah, 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 blah. It's crazy the amount of taping that has to be done to do a lowrider paint job.
When I was a teenager, I actually started out as a body man. I gave it up and went to mechanics because I'll tell you what, body work. Let me tell you something. That's some serious, serious creating. Let me tell you. There's a
Look,
lot.
especially back in your day, though.
Oh.
Back in your day when you started, I mean,
Yeah.
they didn't. Everything was actual metal.
Oh,
You know, metal and lead.
it was real metal. That shit
Right. It
hurt.
wasn't tinfoil body parts like today's cars.
Yeah, you used a sledgehammer with a dollar. You didn't use a little ding, 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 ding.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a famous customizer. He passed away, I think, a few years, called Bill Hines. And this guy was like 4 foot nothing. He had this huge hunchback. One leg was longer than the other, but he was one of the world's best custom car designers ever. And his specialty was working the body mods with lead, actual lead. He had this lead stick, and then he had the torch, and he would put the lead stick on the body and then torch it up and then grind the shit out of that once it was all in there. And oh my God, the guy was a master customizer. And
I
wish
still
had
got
that
my
metal.
paddles, buddy.
That's awesome.
I bought them when I
That's
first
a
met. I still
real
got my
rare
paddles.
art form.
Let me tell you something. It ain't easy. It ain't easy.
Oh no.
Let me
That's probably one of the worst parts of customizing any kind of body or repairing any kind of body from the old days is, you know, how crude and rough and hard everything was compared to, you know, the easiness of today. Even though it's not easy today, it's just a lot more easier than it was.
I used to work with this guy who was a body man. He used to pick me up after school, take me up his house. We'd work in his garage, and he'd take me home about midnight. Anyways, during the winter, when the snow hit, we used to go ski mobiling. Okay? And when we went ski mobiling, we had to make sure whatever was in the garage didn't have to be done or was done or whatever, because once we went up snowmobiling, that was the end of that.
Right.
I'll never forget it. We had this Eldorado in there that we bought, and it was hit pretty hard. It was a total. So, anyways, we flipped it, put the new front clip on it, and did all the body work. The snow hit, and Georgie said to me, "Well, we're just going to do the right hand side. I'll worry about the left hand side later." Okay. He got the right hand side done. The left hand side, he got it done, no problem. Snowmobile season's over. We go back, we're gonna start. All right, we're gonna do the car. So he gets in there and he starts going away with the sand, with this, that, and the other thing. He says, I gotta finish this body line over here. I gotta get rid of this crease. No word of a lie. He must have spent, I don't know, 6-7 hours on it. He got rid of the crease.
Wow.
He walked around the other side of the car. Next thing I know, yelling, screaming, swearing. The sander went right by my head.
Oh.
What's the matter with you? He says, you know that crease I took out? He says, yeah. That some bitch belongs there.
There's one on the other side.
Yeah, we'd been away for so long, we forgot. He was so mad. He didn't go near that car for a month.
Hey.
Oh,
And see,
God.
that's back in the day that you put all that work into that body work because it's a real body. You better do the other side because there was no one doing what you just did.
Yeah. And believe me, back in those days, you took the front bumper of a 59 Caddy. Let me tell
Biggest
you,
bumper ever.
You better have 2 or 3 of your buddies there, because that's something.
Yeah.
It weighs more than a ton, actually.
And there's that 59 Caddy bumper, I think, is a 4-piece bumper?
Oh, yeah,
I
it
think-
comes apart in a zillion pieces.
Yeah. And that's just the bumper. That's not even the grill and the headlight bezels and nothing else. That's just the bumper. Oh, the good old days.
Yeah.
Good old days I never knew about. No, that's how I know I was born in the wrong decade, because I know in my heart of hearts I should have been born in the 30s, so I could have had my childhood in the 40s and my teenage years in the 50s. God, to be a teenager in the 50s, I would say on the West Coast more the East Coast.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with any of that, you know, stuff that happened on the East Coast in those days. But on the West Coast, be a hot rodder. Oh my goodness. I don't want to have to come home from the war though. I would have been too young to go to the war. So I could have just been a teenager in the 50s with all the hot rodders coming back from the war. They could have taught me everything they knew.
Yeah, well, there's nothing like taking your hot rod, jacking it up, put snow tires in that son of a bitch.
I said the West Coast.
Let me tell you something. You know how many times the chains came loose and the friggin' fender got screwed up and you fixed it again and again and again.
I've seen some video and still pictures of like Model Ts that had snow tracks.
The tracks on the back.
Yeah, tracks on the back.
That was an actual
add-on piece.
That
Yeah.
Sold you.
Right.
The skis on it replaced the front tires.
Right. That's amazing. Yeah. I've seen those things run. Like there was a YouTube exposition of like 3 or 4 of them that got together. And man, those things are amazing. I mean, they're only going like 10 miles an hour, but it's still awesome.
Yeah, it's you'd be surprised what's out there. You'd be surprised out there. It's that's like a lot of people. I don't know how many realize it, but Jeeps. Because I used to work for International Harvester at one time, but Jeeps and the Scouts, they were actually built. The Jeep was built, for military service, but after military service and whatnot, they had all these attachments that went on in like little backhoes.
Oh yeah.
Little drills,
right.
Plows, balers. If you go online, you kind of look around the old Scouts and the old Jeeps for farm use. There was a gazillion different attachments that you never would have thought of, but they actually built them to mount on these vehicles. And and there was variations of them too. Like there were some of the Scouts that were actually built for farm use, not road use, just for farm use. And they didn't have all the fancy lights and all that crap, but they were built so they could be used on the farm. That was okay, Jacob. There we go.
That's what's funny about the Jeeps in general, or they were like just the most multi-purpose vehicle ever made.
Oh yeah, they did a gazillion different things with them. I mean, just the military alone, look what they used to do with the things. It's unbelievable.
But that's like Lamborghini too. Lamborghini back in its heyday was a tractor company. They made tractors for a living. They still make tractors today, but they also make 200-mile-an-hour supercars too. So
yeah,
talk about multi-purpose company.
I'm honestly curious with how much tractors go today. Which costs more, a Lamborghini supercar or a Lamborghini tractor?
That's a good question. I've never seen a tractor go 200 miles an hour, so I'm pretty sure it's different engines. But yeah, that's interesting because I know I seen a YouTube video of the Lamborghini showroom over wherever they are, and they have one of their very first tractors in their showroom right next to one of their latest hypercars, and it's one of those neat progressive things that you see in life where you started to where you are today kind of things. It's really a neat thing to have that in your showroom,
like some of the old variations used to have, like it's like a half a tractor attached to another half a tractor, and all the wheels and all the stuff. And,
right.
The things they used to do, it was pretty impressive that people actually thought of this stuff to.
You had to though, I mean, there wasn't anything else out there to do it, so you had to figure it out.
Yeah.
That's like there's a famous photo that scurries around the internet of a completely disassembled Jeep that you can get in a crate, a big huge crate box that fits, and you assemble it yourself.
But that's how they used to ship the military Jeeps.
Yeah.
Back in the day, they were in crates, and they put them on the ships, and they used to send them over, and then they put them together when they got there.
Right. So you can add the parts or not add the parts. You can do whatever you need.
Actually, I like the other video of the Jeep.
You
Where they
know,
got like what, 7 or 8
because they had
guys?
everything else over there too.
You got the 7 or 8 guys that drive in, they take the thing all apart and they put it all back together. You ever seen that one?
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
pretty, you know, when
Not
you think about it.
not Jeep, but they still make that Jeep kit. I forget if the company's Indian or where did Lou used to live? Philippines. I forget if
Yeah.
it's either Philippines or India or Malaysia, one of
Yeah.
those countries. They still make the kit. Jeep is mad about it because it's a copyright infringement, but they still make it. You can still buy it today. It's probably going to be a hassle shipping it to the U.S., but they still make it.
Well, they got that
Imagine if
other
you
one,
could
that
have
little
one of
bitty
those.
one. Have you seen the small one, Roco or something it's called? It looks just like a Jeep, except somebody left it in a dryer too long and shrunk it. I see them all the time over here because people drive them around all over. They use them like ATVs. Because out here in Arizona, you can have an ATV or whatever, okay, and you can drive it legally on the streets as long as it's able of maintaining speed. And I think it's
Right,
45 miles an hour. But I mean, I see them over here all the time. I mean, back home, you would never think about driving on the street. But over here, the ATVs and those, what do they call them? Razors or whatever,
Oh, the
4 passenger thing.
UTVs.
Yeah, they're all over the place. They run up and down the streets and everything. And it's legal. They put license plates on them and all. Yeah, but that small Jeep thing, I've read not too long ago that Roco, I think it's called, or some Morocco or something like that.
Roco
That,
makes them in HO.
They got in trouble. Jeeps after them too now because I guess they weren't far enough off the track to it looked too much like a Jeep, I guess.
I'm curious if River Point Station will be able to continue with that. The Chevy model they wanted to do, I think the Silverado, because Chevy's just, me even saying the word Chevy is probably going to get a copyright infringement on this video.
Right. Well, we were just talking about that the other on another podcast too, about River Point Station and not having the rights to do so many other vehicles like the Chevys and whatnot, and how it sucks because Ford allowed it, but Chevy won't allow it, and you wonder, exactly why.
Well, I tell
Chevy's
you
one
what,
of the hardest companies to get any copyrights to do one of their vehicles.
Chevrolet, or GM from the top, one of their problems was they had it advertising exec or whatever. Okay, because Ron was telling me about this because back in Rhode Island, I used to see him all the time. But one of the biggest problems was, okay, the guy at Chevrolet was trying to say that it was a toy and it was small enough so children could choke on it. It had small parts on it, people could choke on it.
Right.
And that's
But you
why
think they could get over that though?
Supposedly that guy left and they had another guy that they were working with. I haven't seen Ron actually in a couple of years, but at that point they had somebody else that was taking over that supposedly they were going to do something, but I don't know whatever happened to that. That was one of the biggest parts. The guy insisted, oh no, it's got small parts, so little kids can get a hold of it and choke on the tire or choke, it's like, come on.
But they're letting them come out with the N scale version though,
Yeah,
because they already got the N scale production already going, and
well,
that's even smaller.
Like I said at the time back then, a couple of
Right.
years ago, that's what it
From
was
what
all
I
about.
from what I keep hearing now, since I'm on the River Point Station group,
Yeah.
is the reason why they're not out in HO scale is there's not enough pre-orders for it to be a viable product to bring to market.
No, that's possible too. I mean, like I said, previously it was that other thing from the executives, but it's possible. You got to remember, Ron too is, he's got to be able to sell this stuff, and if he doesn't have the, would you make something if you didn't have the request for it?
Not that much stuff.
There's a lot of money involved in this stuff. It's crazy.
Speaking of, I want to get him on the podcast. I want to talk to him
He's a real nice guy. Let me tell you something. He's one of the nicest people you ever want to meet.
I don't have any of his info. So if any of you guys have his info and you want to link it to me, that'd be great.
He even has his number on his website, I think, but I could be wrong.
I didn't really want to call him out of the blue and say, hey, my name is so-and-so. I have a podcast. You want to talk about it?
Hey, you know, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised, really, because he's not a standoffish kind of person. I tell you that right now. He's a pretty down to earth person.
That's cool, because I've talked to other people that have companies that help our scale hobby, and I've asked them if they want to talk, and most of them are standoffish. They don't really want to do a podcast because maybe they're part of the older generation that don't understand what this even is. I don't know. I'm guessing. But yeah, it's amazing how many people decline the offer to do this podcast compared to the people that accept it.
Isn't River Point Station a side business that Ron does?
It's one of his businesses. His main business is machine work. Like he owns a big machining company.
Yeah, machining's the main one. Secondly is realty, and River Point Station kind of the third and last one, so that's why it doesn't get so much attention. But you know, I like the models we've gotten, so I'm happy.
They're pretty good models. I like customizing them.
They're really good, especially the kits.
Yeah, I still
You can find them in now. I mean, the kit River Point Station ones are the ones that are like finding a hen's tooth.
Now I got about a half a dozen hen's teeth then.
I think Nelson sells those. He sells all of River Point Station stuff, but I mean, he's got a bunch of stuff.
I read not too long ago they're going to discontinue some of the accessories, I believe. I don't know how true that is or not, but
I've found that it is very true because they're literally selling off from the wholesaler all the accessories that they have in stock right now is it.
oh, all right.
You better buy up now then.
Yeah.
Buy it like the Jordan miniature kits and then ask twice or three times as much as the normal price.
Yeah, ain't that crazy? That's nuts.
Yeah.
I got about a dozen of those kits, I think.
Well,
I buy the
all I
River
can
Point
say,
Station wheels to be able to build my U-Hauls.
Yeah. Hey, when all else fails, cast them.
right?
Oh, trust me, that has crossed my mind several times.
That's a lot cheaper than buying those wheels,
Yeah.
especially if you know the right person to cast them. They're almost free.
You can use the right material too. They sell like I haven't done it in a while, but with a black rubber.
Right.
You can they come out pretty good.
Yeah, I know in the 125th scale world, especially for like these lowrider wheels, the tires are rubber, and in the resin 3D printing world, they're printing the rims with the rubber tires.
Yeah.
Not that these are those, but in that world, in that scale hobby, that's what they're doing.
Well, I actually think that's what it's going to end up being in the HO scale world too. As the technology advances with 3D printers, it just becomes cheaper and more readily available, especially when you got somebody that's already got the program.
Right. Well, that's the case with this hobby. All the hobbies is everybody's going to have a 3D printer eventually because they're getting cheaper and cheaper, and everybody's going to know how to use it but me. So you just got to know the right people and be friends with them so they can print the stuff for you.
Speaking of 3D, which I have two machines. You want something, you make it. You can't find something, you try and make it. And
Right.
I'm no genius. And I'm no CNC expert or machinist or anything by no means. Most machine work I ever did was on an engine. You know what I mean? Make the whole bigger.
Right.
But
Get
you
up
know,
horsepower.
yeah. But you know, you can do things. You can make bodies, you know, oil tank bodies or whatever. You can. It's your imagination. It's like anything. It's like opening a kit and trying to make what you want out of the kit. You know what I
Right.
mean? It is what it is. You know.
Yeah,
Remember the old
if I can't make
Borleys?
it, I try to find it and buy it.
Well, the old Borleys, they had the GMC, you know, but everybody wanted the smaller one, the 4500 or the 5500. So what do? You take the body, you make yourself a couple of plugs, and you do it, you know, and it is what it is. Or even, you know, frames. You used to be able to buy the Athens frames. You can't do that anymore, right? So what do? You go online, get into one of those like Tinkercast or whatever, and you make your own frames. You know, and the detail is, you know, what your mind can do and what you think you can do, and a lot of times what you can do and what you think you can do are a lot
Two
different.
different things.
And you know, sometimes, like, you know, it comes out pretty damn good. You know what I'm saying? But it really, you know, I'm telling you, you keep saying, you can't do it, you can't do it. You're full of crap. It ain't that hard.
Oh, I know. I definitely know it isn't that hard, but I also definitely know my brain is lazy.
Yeah, but a lot of this stuff, you know, especially now as of late, I mean, you can go online and get the file, you know.
Right.
And you know, most of these files, not depending on it, some of these files are crazy. I've seen some cab stuff that the guy wants like $295 just for the file, so you can do a file. I've seen most of the stuff though, well, the average 15, 20 bucks, and some of them are even less than that, $5 or $6. And all you do is you take it, you plug it in, turn the machine on, and hallelujah, you got what you're looking for. You know,
You have a PLA or resin printer?
What's that?
Is your printer PLA plastic or resin?
I don't use PLA. I use a ABS on mine. I have a resin one coming. It just hasn't showed up yet. But you know, it's all in. It's all in whatever the hell you want to do. I mean, you know, want some dump truck bodies? You know,
I'm interested in getting one of the resin printers because they're nicer quality, but I'm just not good with the technical side on computers and stuff. I can't, like saying, like Sam says, you just want to be able to drag it over and print it.
Well, let me tell you something. Like I was just saying, you can go online and get this stuff. It's already done for you. Some of it you have to pay for it, and some of it is free. You know, you just got to go looking. But
I know what you can do, Steven.
It is actually very simple. It is almost drag. You know, you got to push a couple of buttons, but it's almost that simple. It really, truly is.
I'm gonna have to give you a call then once I get a printer, because the printer that I have right now, I take a card, you put the SD card in the computer, you load the files onto it, you put the SD card in the printer, and the printer says error, can't read.
Yeah, I have one of my printers does that too, but I just connect it straight to the computer, and the hell with the card.
I gotta figure out how to do that then.
So check it out. Tomorrow on the modelers meet thing we're doing, and we're gonna have clinics. If anybody wants to do the clinics, it's free for them to do it. That'd be a great clinic there, Steve. It's to just show us all how to do it.
I'll try, but I got a pretty full day tomorrow. I got to drive 40 miles to get the oil changed in my truck.
40 miles?
Yeah, well, I thought
you live in Arizona.
Friggin' place. Yeah, well.
You don't live in the middle of the desert with nobody around you.
Actually, I do. I live in the Sonoran Desert. I live in the Sonoran Desert. I'm about, I guess, maybe a mile and a half from my house is the actual Phoenix limit, the town line or whatever. I am in the extreme northwest of Phoenix. And Phoenix is a big goddamn place.
My grandma used to live in Phoenix. It's not that big.
Well, you know what? Let me tell you something.
It's spread apart. That's what it is.
Well, spread apart. Like I said, I got to travel 40 miles down 17 to get to the damn the dealership. But everything around here is spread out. There's nothing. The only thing close to me is Home Depot.
Right. Well, yeah. And if you live in the outskirts and not right in the city, then yeah, everything's spread out. I mean, it's a desert.
It is. I always tell everybody I'm living on a desert island in the middle of the desert.
Right. If you put a moat around your house, you would be on a desert island.
Yeah. Oh, when it rains, you think there's a moat. Let me tell you. It's so bad when it rains out here when the monsoons show up. I have a pool in my backyard, and down here they don't make big house lots. They're kind of small, but I guess there's about 12 feet between the edge of the pool and my sliding glass door. And when it rains, mother hummer, it rains. Let me tell you, I have flood insurance. Believe it or not, I live in the desert. I got flood insurance.
Yeah, I know about that life.
It's crazy. I'll see if I can throw something together. I can't get it because I'm going to be busy most of the day.
So what time is it tomorrow?
Well, the live podcast is at 7 p.m. our time. But the clinics are done by going onto the actual group and hitting the live button, and you just do it for whenever. There's no time limit on, who can do
That
it.
live button's not on there right now, though, right?
On the modelers meet group, it is.
It is?
So right,
that's why.
yeah, like right when you're gonna post a photo, so you got the photo button. The button to the left of that is the live button. So if you go to, like, even if you go to the 187th scale group thing, there's a live button. There's a live button on all of them.
Not to check that out, because I didn't see it earlier.
You may need to do it on a computer, although it could be wrong, just because the phone app and the computer app are different for Facebook, or at least for
well, I'm on my computer right now. To be honest.
So for instance, if you can see it, I don't know if you can see it. Let me see.
Well, I saw it down in the bottom of the group at one place.
Yeah.
All right. See my over there where it says live and it's red. I think mine is actually a bluish color.
Oh, either way. Yeah, that's it though.
All right. All right.
And basically, it's like if you were just doing a selfie video style, you can turn the screen around, obviously, and aim it downwards, towards whatever you're looking at, so you can see the screen and it, focus on what you're trying to show.
Yeah.
But William was saying, to try to limit them to about 10 minutes or so. But I honestly don't know how many people are going to do a live clinic, in our small little hobby group to that site, to that group. So you could probably do it for as long as you want to. But
there's a guy with some talent. Let me tell you. There's a guy with some talent. It's William.
Right. Yeah. When I started the podcast, he, before I had David Rowley on, he was the most viewed episode. And then David Rowley came on, and then he became the most viewed episode. And I thought, I didn't know how many people knew David Rowley, but I knew everybody knew William Radcliffe. But yeah, it's
William,
crazy.
He's one talented son of a gun. Let me tell you something. I've known him for quite a while, and he is just one talented person, and he's down to earth. And if you ask him a question, he'll tell you how to do it.
Oh yeah.
You might not have the tools to do it with, but he'll tell you how it's done and why it's done and the way it's done. He's just a real cool person. He really, truly is.
Yeah, I like him. He's super nice, and I wish we could have gone up, this weekend and was able to talk to him. But we'll be able to talk to him tomorrow night if
Yep.
if we all joined in or whatever.
Speaking of train shows or truck shows that are train shows, I'm just kind of curious. I know it's probably not going to be this year. It's probably going to get delayed another year. If there is an RPM meet in 2020, probably two. I know you're in Arizona, Steve, and Sam's kind of in the middle there too, in North Carolina.
That's it.
That's it. Okay, I'm not sure where Tyler lives, and I'm not sure where Galaxy lives, but it kind of right in the middle there for a lot of people. Coast to coast and kind of middle of the seaboard. I want to go there, even though I'm from, I'm literally 40 minutes away from Springfield usually, which is kind of nice.
Missouri?
Just rub it in.
Mass, 40 minutes from Springfield, Mass. But I want to go to it's going to be a long road trip. I'm not sure if my car is going to make it there. I think I might pull a Sam Denehy there, trying to get down there.
Right.
I really want to go to it. I think it's a good show.
It is a good show.
The one in Missouri you're talking about?
Yeah.
Missouri? I'd be up for that. Because the one up in up there now, they incorporate the RPM with the Springfield show now. They've done that for a couple, 3-4 years now. Because it used to be a separate show, but they put the two together now. But yeah, I'd like to go to that because what's his name is out there? Goes there, Mike Budd.
Yeah, Mike Buddy, and then Ken Patterson, and then there's a few others out there too.
Yeah, I'd like to get to meet some of those guys. To be honest with you.
Yeah,
and the neat thing about that show,
Arizona's kind of a dry spot for HO.
kind of a dry spot for the whole country.
Yeah, I'll say.
The neat thing about that show is Ken Patterson invites any and all people that want to come to his house that Saturday night to do a live show. Well, I guess not live, but to be on his What's Neat This Week show.
You guys talking about the St. Louis RPM meet?
Yeah. Which you need to go to.
Well, I know Dennis Blake. He's one of the ones that puts it on.
Have you been, I assume? I assume you've been.
No, I've been to the one in Ohio, though, the one that he does for trains, but I haven't been to the one in St. Louis.
Well, honestly, the St. Louis one was for trains too. And then only until 2018 was our club accepted to be part of that. Because before that, it's all trains. I mean, everything on those tables, there are prototype modelers that are just train freaks that know everything and anything about everything trains. And it wasn't until we came in and ruined it. No, we made it better. We made it way better because
the horizons.
Yes, because we got stuff on our tables that none of the other people do because they're just bringing train stuff to that show.
We gave them a reason to replace their 164th scale cars with 187th scale cars.
Right.
Oh, that burns me so much when I go to a layout and it's all beautiful and everything, and I see a Hot Wheels. I'm sorry. Hot Wheels has its place. It's not on the layout when it's trains. Unless it's
S-scale.
187 scale.
S-scale trains, that's 164th-ish.
Especially
really, I'm in Ohio. There's not a lot of S gauge around here. You'll see a ton of Lionel, a load of HO, some N, but that's pretty much it. And if you're around where I'm at in the Cincinnati area, you better like Baltimore and Ohio because that's what everybody models around here.
That makes sense.
I don't think there's a big S-scale group anywhere in this country. It's just not a popular scale in general.
Well, not anymore. I mean, it used to be when American Flyer was in business, but when they went under, that pretty much took out all of S gauge.
See, the more you know. I didn't know any of
I'll
that.
tell you one thing I enjoy is I guess about 5 miles on the road from me here. There's a railroad club park or something, but it's I don't know what scale it is, but the small actual trains that
Live steamers.
they have steamers
You
on
can
there.
sit
The
on
guy,
and
like
actually
the guy
run
sits
them.
on the he
Yeah.
sits on the coal car and it goes along, but it's actually got coal and stuff, and they're actually able to go over, like they've got this setup where they keep them in trailer truck the containers, but then they actually bring over the rails and they bring them out and they service them and whatnot. And I got to tell you something, these things actually run and everything, and personally I was amazed because I had never seen them up that close. I knew they existed, but I didn't until saw them up close, where they actually have a working firebox and they actually
Right.
put coal in it, and they actually take and they oil all the arms and the joints for the pistons and whatnot. And I mean, it's when you really take a look at some of this stuff, it's unbelievable. And they got a couple of the later like streamline jobs that actually have generators in them.
Yeah.
And they're run by little Honda engines or whatever.
Yeah, I don't like those ones.
And
Get rid of those altogether. Just keep it steam.
And but it's amazing. These people, they put a lot of detail into some of this stuff.
I've driven like a small, I guess you'd say I ran a small narrow gauge steam locomotive. It's quite the complex mechanism. It's funny, you're thinking like a car, you have an accelerator and a brake.
Yeah.
The train, this one that at least had almost no brakes. It had a parking brake, and then it had your Johnson bar, which is your combined forward, reverse, neutral. It's a bunch of things. It's quite interesting.
There's a guy on
it's kind of amazing to think about.
There's a guy on Ken Patterson's show, a young kid named Daniel Combs. He just got into live steamers, and he's got his first live steam locomotive. It's probably this big. It's only got 4 wheels, and it runs like real coal or something. I don't know. He hasn't gone into. I haven't looked into deep on what he has, but he showed a picture, and it's a really small. It's like the narrow gauge, small version of a live steamer, and it's probably this big, but it's a real live steamer style looking.
No, Sam, that sounds about 125th scale.
Right. Well, that's what I thought. G scale was 125th. I think G scale is super close, if it isn't exact.
Close, yeah.
Yeah, and I thought, God, that's an expensive hobby to have my model cars and those trains.
That's what we used to film a lot of movies in, actually. G scale.
Well, it's funny.
Control, now that's expensive. Radio control.
Yeah.
Those guys.
Oh, is it worth it though? I'd say it's worth it if you had a whole bunch of it and you ran it all the time.
You know what, Sam? Is what we do worth it? In my opinion, yeah, because I enjoy it.
Right.
I have fun doing it.
Right.
Would I buy a radio control car? Not on your life.
Well, that's funny you say
I don't really
that
like
because
that. It's not my thing. You know what I'm saying?
I was just talking to a guy on one of the episodes who's got this huge train layout in his basement. And I said, that is so neat that you have that. And he did a little walk around and he showed what for the most part, what his train layout looked like without great detail. It was just kind of a real quick walkthrough. And he says he doesn't go down there that often. So those trains don't get run that much. He's got this awesome layout that doesn't get used because he's got life, that goes in front of it, and he doesn't have the time to play with it all the time. And I said, it's so neat that you have that, but you've got all that money and time and work and everything down there, and nobody sees it. It doesn't get played with. It does, it just sits there. And I think the same thing with my stupid cars right here. They have all this time, money, and blood, sweat and tears put into it. And they just sit there, do nothing. I can't even play with those.
You enjoy it though. That's the thing.
I enjoy building it, and I enjoy seeing it because I know that I built it. I don't know that I enjoy collecting it.
I enjoy spending the money to pick it up and put it on my shelf and never touch it again.
See, you're a collector and a builder. I don't necessarily need to collect it. It doesn't do me any good keeping them there unless I were to show them off all the time and say, see, this is what I can do.
Yeah, but
nobody sees it.
Sam, you know something, Sam? they collect themselves. You don't have to do a damn thing about it.
Right. Right. I can tell you, like I said in the beginning of the podcast, they definitely collect a lot of dust.
Oh God.
That's why they're
Mhm.
sitting in those shelves.
Yeah, yeah.
You see, I love Sam's idea to build the module, put his
They got
cars
the
on.
rush.
Yeah.
I'd like a layout to put my cars on because I have model trains, but I don't have any place to run them, which is kind of stupid. But they're cool. But Sam has the perfect idea where he has the module so he can enjoy his cars, but they're also on display, which is really cool.
They're on display when they're not, yeah, they're on display sitting in those shelves, but then I can take them out and put them on the module and show it too, which people love. You know what people really love?
You know, the other thing about 3D printing is you always need something or you can't find it or you don't want to spend the money for it or whatever. Well, I needed advice one time. And I really couldn't find a place that would work. So I found one on online and I copied it and it's got changeable jaws so I can put different type of jaws in it and whatnot. And it's neat and you know it didn't cost me nothing except probably took about 12, 13 hours to build it, all the different pieces. But you know something? I got it, it works. And the other thing is, I made it.
You did make
You know
that.
what I'm
There's the
saying?
will, there's a way. I mean,
Absolutely, absolutely. You know what I'm talking about. And like I said, at the time I needed something. I couldn't find what I wanted. Or they wanted too damn much money, and I wasn't willing to go to China to buy it and all that crap, you know. So I just, one afternoon, I was browsing through the thing, and I said, gee, you know, that's pretty cool. And I took it and I changed a couple of things to make it to what I could use it for. And there you go. And I've been using it now almost 2 years now.
Looks nice.
Yeah, you know, it's all in your head. Whatever you want to do, you can do. But you gotta want to do it.
the only person who's going to stop you is you.
Hey, that's right. Like I said,
And
I gotta
it's
I
my
gotta get
brain
off
that
my-
stops me.
Yeah, I
My
gotta get
brain
off my
says that's too
backside
much
and
work.
Finish some of this stuff I got started over here. I got a ton of it.
See, my problem is I'll be in the middle of a project, hit a stopping point, and all of a sudden it's like, well, I could do this project while I'm waiting for more parts. And then that's how I end up with 50 projects and not one done.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what happens. Get
And-
interested in this, get interested in that. Well, I gotta buy more resins. I gotta wait for that to show up and, oh, all right, while I'm waiting for that, I'll do this. And next thing you know, I must have close to 2 dozen trucks over there sitting down doing just nothing.
That's the
I'm
problem
about
with every
ready to-
major modeler, though. We always get that problem where we start something, we think of something else, so we want to start that so we don't forget it, and then leads on to a bigger problem, and then we got too much stuff laying around.
And then, you know, like I said, out here in the desert, HO is kind of like pretty scarce. Well, I found this group of guys called the Moonlight Auto Builders. And they're into 124th, 125th. So now I got 3 or 4 of these damn things laying all over hell creation. But this one was a bit of a challenge with the opening doors and whatnot. But, you know, you do what you got to do. I mean, I show up with my little ones when we had meetings, you know, once a month. And I show up with my little ones, and I've got like a dozen of them, right? And they got like 1 or 2 models, and they look at me like, you know, what are you, crazy?
Yeah, in the 124, the 125th scale, some of these guys, as big as the cars are, and you'd think they were easier to build because they're bigger, they just take forever. They build maybe one a month, maybe one every 2 months, or it takes longer sometimes. And you think, what is taking so long?
It is what it is. I mean, you know, you do what you can do. I mean, you know. But, you know, I take as long or longer on some of these little ones than they take on those big ones. So
yeah,
I told you about that one I got, Sam, that I've had for close to 45 or 50 years.
Yeah.
I got the old Lindbergh, the Big T.
Yeah, yeah.
The motorized Big T.
Mhm.
I've been working on that thing since I was a kid, since I was a teenager, for God's sakes. And that's 45, 50 years ago. And I still haven't finished it. It's up in a rack over there. It's from when I moved.
Right.
I got some tires put together. I got some wheels put together. I got part of the motor with the motor inside it put together. But I've had it for all these years. I just, every once in a while, I dig it out or I come across it. Hey, I'll put 2 more pieces on.
Well, the cool thing is you still have all the pieces, it sounds like, because
Yeah.
something laying around that long and taking that long to build, you would naturally think you're starting to lose stuff over the years.
I've got a Corvette, a 1/8, 1/8 scale Corvette.
Mhm.
It's, I think it's the anniversary, not the anniversary, the 500, the Indianapolis 500 job,
Mhm.
78, I think it is. And it sat in the box for so long that the windshield and the back roof sank down in the damn thing.
Wow.
So I got to figure out a way to, get them to come back out without breaking all the hell. But
Are
yeah,
they resin or
plastic.
plastic?
No, it's plastic.
it just sits around.
Hot water.
Yeah, well, hot water with a 1/8 scale Corvette is that's a lot of hot water. Maybe I'll take it in the bathroom someday. Yeah, there's an
Yeah.
idea.
Right.
Well, really, all you got to do is submerge the windshield area, and then as long as it gets pliable enough to bend back out,
Yeah.
that's all you're really needing anyway, ain't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, but the body itself is kind of like bowed out too. The whole thing like got crushed. So inside the body was a bunch of the trees, the parts trees. So when the other box or whatever I had on top of it at the time came down,
Yeah, I had a
down
1/8 scale
and it
57
kinda, like,
Chevy at one point, so
kind of
I realized how
split the
big they
body
were.
out, too. So, well, one of these days I'll get around to it. It's just one of those things it's a collector's item.
Yeah. It's been collected for a while.
Yeah, like I said, they collect themselves. You don't have to worry.
Right.
You
I
guys were
like
talking earlier about
that St. Louis idea, though. That's pretty cool. I like that. We'll have to maybe we can put something together.
So you guys
Yeah.
were talking earlier about the RC vehicles, and I know Steve expressed his hatred for them, and I'm in the middle with them. I'm okay with them or not, but the thing is, I feel like the stopping is too hard. They go like this, then they stop like that. But what I saw online is this thing called Magno Rail, and what it is basically like a chain drive for like a bicycle, but it's running underneath the streets of the layout, and there's a magnet on it. It pulls your vehicle around at a constant speed. It's not jerking around like an RC toy. You don't have to constantly control it. And all it requires is you basically put a magnet like right here. It's kind of like the Faller car system.
Let it drag around.
Yeah, but with a Faller car system, you have to put a motor in every car, which you can't do that in small cars. You can only do it in trucks and buses. And I thought it would be really cool for just like a diorama, just like a small window, and you just see the cars going by. It would be neat. But yeah, have any of you guys thought about something around that or not?
I thought about that for the Ghostbusters car. I wanted to pull out of the Ghostbusters firehouse, make a left, go down the street, which is right behind the building, and then pull back into the back of the building. And so you push a button and it just does this, but it does it slow enough to look like it's in the movie.
It can do that actually.
Yeah. Well, I just haven't done it. But that's the only reason. That's the only way I want anything motorized is if it's telling a story and it goes back to the starting position again, because I don't need it to go down somebody's layout for the whole entire duration of their streets. I just need a motorized story to be told, so you know what's happening.
Yeah, that's like the German, what they call Flockner or Falter or Faller or whatever it's called. It's on the same idea, but the only thing is the inside of the vehicle is taken up by all the electronics.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys. It's 10:11 out here. No, 10:50 out here on the East Coast.
Yeah, it's only 10 minutes to 9. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. I'm glad the sun still looks like it's up over there.
That's up.
The sun's just coming up over here.
That's
You guys
another
got
thing
anything
about
else you want to say?
Well, I guess I gotta get going. I gotta do some work. But yeah.
Right
Have a
on,
great
Tom.
night, guys.
Thanks for coming in, man.
No
Yep,
problem.
good to
Happy
see
to
you,
do
Tommy.
it. See you guys tomorrow, probably.
Yeah.
Hey, Sam,
What's up, man?
remember how you were saying earlier on in the podcast about Russ and how he used to do all those castings?
Yeah. You got a few?
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I have one or two of each of those.
Yeah.
Or I did. I know my deal was he send me two and I build one for him and I keep the other one to make my own out of. So I may not have one or two. I may only have one of each.
I got a
I
couple.
was the one that was the guinea pig for all of them.
I got one or two of those laying around here someplace. He was a real nice guy.
Yeah. Oh well. We're all gonna go at some time. Hopefully people behind us can pick up where we left off, you know?
Yeah, well, hopefully we go to the meet first.
Yeah. Hopefully we can meet each other in person and then shove off.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, guys.
I'm not going to end up having an RPM meet as big as the one that I did when I went up to Marion. I had on my table alone almost 70 models.
Wow.
Oh, I beat you. Sorry.
That was
I took
just
all that
trains.
crap. Oh, well, I had cars. I had like 250 cars on the table, all candy colored and looked like Skittles all over the table.
Skittles.
But I say that almost on all the podcasts because they're all candy, metal flaked, and all different colors. When everybody always has all the same colors: white, charcoals, grays, blacks. Commercial vehicles.
Yeah.
Anyways,
but you know, it's time to get away from all that now. You're starting to see a lot more of the automobile stuff now.
Yeah, thanks to Mad About Cars and then designing every single American vehicle ever made, and then other manufacturers finally getting into the mix of creating newer vehicles. I mean, even Woodland Scenic's got like a late 80s to mid 90s style vehicles coming out. They're not actual vehicles. I don't think they had the rights to the brand, but they're like a mixture of certain vehicles from
I was in the hobby bench the other day, about 2 or 3 days ago. And I noticed the what they call it, Scenic, man, whatever. They had a little Chevrolet pickup truck.
Yeah.
And it was $37.
Right. They're
Oh,
outrageously
you
priced.
gotta be kidding me. I remember when these things used to be 10 or 8, 9, $10.
Well, look at the Highway Miniature Jordans or
Oh.
Jordan Highway Miniatures. Those things were what, $1.98
Yeah.
when they first came out? And now? Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Good
if
luck.
you can find them, man.
Yeah. But hey, let's end this. I'm
All
gonna
right,
stop this
guys.
recording. And if you guys want to stay on, we can say goodbye. I gotta figure out how to stop this. I gotta stop the recording and then I gotta stop the YouTube live.
Hey, have a good night, guys.
Have a good night, everybody. It
Been
was
a
great
pleasure.
talking to you. We'll do this again. Oh, there
You
we
bet.
go. Stop.